Good evening. We are live, people. And just to make sure, we're all set, sharing the live stream link out on Twitter. So, ecosystems. We have Apple, we have Microsoft, we have Samsung, we have Google, Huawei, Xiaomi. All these different companies have their own ecosystems. Wow, you probably just didn't hear a word I said. Apple, Google, Samsung, Microsoft, Xiaomi, Huawei, you name it, they all kind of have their own ecosystems. And I feel like we can learn from each other and we can learn more about these ecosystems. And yes, Miles, I am feeling a lot better. At this moment, at least. If you did not catch it, go catch the replay. He is back feeling a lot better, and go show him our support. I am on briefly for a little while. We'll talk for however long. And technically T, I believe, will have his stream going on at around 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:15, something like that. Hi, Latrell. I decided to give Melon another try. I did upgrade our internet, so we have way better upload speeds. So that should help. I mean, it's only 40 megabits, but it's still a lot better than what it was before. And as far as I can tell from looking at it, it appears to be a little bit smoother. So you should be able to see 1080p playback. Now, keep in mind my camera quality, for some reason it only lets it come in at my sound sync is way off. Let me check my audio source. Nope, that's fine. Turn off echo cancellation, and now let's see. Weird. Hopefully it's a little bit better now. Let me see. That's really weird. Strange. Let me see if if it's any better. Seems to be a little bit better now. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm using the same stuff I've used for a long time and never had problems with it, and now I'm having problems with it. So we'll see. It's unfortunate because I got a really, really good deal with this app, and I like that you don't have to have, like with Streamyard, you have to have their $50 a month plan to get 1080p, but I don't need all the other stuff, the ability to output to like a bunch of other sources and stream over on Twitter and Twitch and all this stuff at the same time. But I like the 1080p output. I like the fact that I can have up to, I think it's like 8 or 9 other guests. I like the interface for it. I like that it works no matter, what device I'm on. I like that it has a dark mode. It's simple. I can select my sources. I haven't had any issues with having to restart my computer 20 times because the source isn't showing up. It's been really easy. I can use my phone as a camera if I chose to. There's a good community as far as support. Their developers seem to be good. But as far as the ecosystem discussion, I think it's interesting to see that companies kind of started off at this. Oh, Apple's got this system, they lock you in, they get you addicted to one device, and then you use another device, and they work really well together, but, once you start using a multitude of their devices, you're kind of stuck. And then other companies started doing the same thing, and now they're kind of all in the same boat as far as, you got a phone, you got a watch, you got... Whenever you want to come in, I sent you guys the link, so just, hop on by. Even now, they had earbuds that they've come out with. Their Galaxy Buds have existed for many years. They had the AKG collaboration that they were doing there for a bit. Pixel has, their Pixel Buds and their Pixel Buds A, and I think they're going to be coming out with the Buds Pro now, and it's kind of crazy, to think about this that's there and how everybody uses it, and how some people say, well, if you're a content creator, you need to use an iPhone. I don't believe that that's so true anymore. Let's see, Latrell, I believe I have you in here. Maybe when I clear it out, you know what? Let's get Latrell link. Oh yeah, I have him on there. That's weird. Oops. Won't do much good if I send out the YouTube link. There we go. So, everybody has their different use cases. And not everybody needs an ecosystem. But I do believe that everybody innately ends up in an ecosystem whether they kind of want to or not. I have one of my guests. If he gives me a thumbs up when he's ready, I will bring him on in. Perfect.
Hey, Michael. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
I'm like,
Wow.
I was trying to watch a live stream
Hey,
before
Michael.
this,
Can you hear me okay?
and the guy has he just surpassed, it was 4,000, no, it was more than that. It was 42,400 subscribers or something, and he comes on, and I can't even hear him.
Are you serious?
He was using a boom mic, and he did say it was a mic test stream.
Wow,
You know what? I don't like that view. That view's better.
that's better. But
I
was
was
it was he so he was doing a live stream celebrating his subs, and you couldn't hear him properly?
I had it cranked all the way up, and I could barely hear him. I was like, "What is going on?" I felt like I was gonna have to connect up to my computer and hook up my Oh, where is it? I have it around here somewhere. My periodic audio amp, and
Right.
turn that thing on and
Oh
boost
my
it.
God.
I was like, "You have that many?" I mean, I guess he doesn't go live often, so I get it, and
Yeah.
It is different than what you would use for recording equipment, but it was just kind of amusing to me.
I guess it just shows everyone has tech woes. It doesn't seem to matter. You know, they could affect us all at any time, right? So, in all fairness, but it's kind of funny still.
I had that for a bit where it was like every time I went to try to live stream, it was like, what the heck is going on? My audio's messed up. You know, I there was echoing things going on and weird stuff with people, and it's like if they're not used to having like guests on their live stream and they're using um like there were a couple times that Andrew Mark David was gonna have me on his live stream, and he had
Oh
problems
wow.
with echo, but he's
Oh
not used to
wow.
having people on, and he uses Ecamm Live.
Yeah. He has a really nice setup with the multiple cameras. I know, I love him. I know exactly. In
He's
fact,
just not used to,
I might have been on that stream when he was going to have you on, and yeah, it was some issue. I remember that.
but he was really cool about it, and then
Yes,
he's like, I'll have to figure it out some other time. And I was like, it's all good.
that's all you can do.
It was
Right?
something with the inputs at his end. I think he figured it out eventually.
And it's weird. I don't know if maybe it's just me with Millen. I can't get the Bluetooth to work. I even checked to make sure it was on the tablet. I double checked between streams and still not worried. I don't know. Maybe it's a Millen thing. I'll have to figure
It
out.
might be. I know Streamyard had issues with like Bluetooth audio sources for a bit, but
Yeah.
because it acts as your earbud and your mic, it can act as your earbud and your microphone. They only allow you to have like one audio source. It confuses
Oh,
it because it's like, do I use it as the microphone or do I use? And it doesn't
right.
pick it up, and it doesn't put it in as a headset, so it
Right.
thinks that it's two separate sources. So it just says nah, and doesn't let you use either one of them. So they need
Well, at
to
least as
fix
long
that
as you
in
can
their
hear me,
software.
right. As long as you can hear me, I can hear you. Then the people can hear us. That's all that matters. But it is a little bit annoying. But I'll try to, or like I say, when I do my own live streams, I'm going to probably use. It's better to use wired anyway, right? So I do have an old wired headset. I might try to get a better one. So yeah, yep.
The only other way around that would be like maybe a adapter of some sort. Like if you got like they do make those adapters that you can get that are like for higher quality Bluetooth, because
Mm,
then it would just think that's the source, and then you just pair your earbuds to that, and then the device doesn't have to determine. But I don't know how that handles
yeah.
vocals as well. So
Right. Right.
so the
It's
one
all
thing,
right.
so the with your new phone, by the way, awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
You know,
So
I
far, so.
what were you, so I remember you said so before for a bit in between you were using the OnePlus 9 Pro and you had tried
Yeah.
out the iPhone 11. What were you using before that?
I was using. This was my baby, the Pixel XL.
Okay, so you were using a smartphone, or it was just an older. Okay.
Oh yeah, I wasn't on a flip phone or anything like that. I'm not that backward. Come on, you know me. But
Hey,
no, I know.
you
I'm just
worked in
teasing.
you work in finance. I wouldn't be surprised. There are
That's right. Some of
like
them.
oh what's his name? Oh my gosh. The wealthy billionaire, that um oh my gosh.
There's a couple that are on older phones. You're right, and I
That
think at
he
least
always
one of
uses
them.
a flip phone all the time, and
Yeah, I think I know you're talking about one of the hedge managers, and I think maybe one or two of them still use Blackberries. It's possible, right? I don't know.
you know
Maybe Android
what's
BlackBerry, but nevertheless, yeah.
what was the movie I was watching the other day? I'm like, everybody's using Blackberries. What the heck? I was like,
Yeah,
but then again, I forgot. I was like, this was like sub iPhone, so it's not like they really had. It really
true,
was. It was like that
true.
was really sub like. iPhones, be- and partially because it was like if like there were some movies where like Verizon was like one of the paid, so they're not going to be using iPhones because AT&T was the only way you got an iPhone for a
Right.
while. So it's not like they were.
Exclusive, yeah.
So if
I remember
it
that,
was,
yeah. Yeah.
and I know there's a famous soccer player that he's using like a broken iPhone, shattered iPhone 8 for like a long time.
Yep.
So, what
There
do you
you
think of
go.
my background, by the way? I forgot I even had that up there, and it works out perfect that my name's like right above us.
I like it. It's cool. It's nice.
I
Yeah.
forgot that was even up there. I was like, it's
I
gonna
love it.
work okay if there's one or two of us, but once it shifts up, it's just gonna block everything, which
Oh
actually works
yeah.
out
Well,
okay.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Lewis or whoever comes in, it'll move. But it's nice. Yeah.
it is weird though that like, because usually the free ones, at least with StreamYard, you still get what is it, up to 6 people you can have on for
Yeah.
free?
So it's only three. It's only four
This one,
total.
it's
3 or 4 total people with this one.
with this one, it's only like one other person it lets you have on now. They changed it. Unless you have the
Wow.
pro version, and then you can have, I think,
That's
9
cool.
altogether. So I think you can have 8 other people, which I'll take.
Really?
I mean, I don't think I'm ever gonna have 10 people, so it's one less
Right.
than StreamYard, but I don't have to pay the $50 a month for the highest
It's
quality
too many anyway. Honestly, more
to
than
get.
more than 4 or 6 to me is just absurd because you can't get. No one can get a word in edgewise, and it's just a cluster f to use a clean word, you know. But
Hi
yeah.
Sneed. I keep forgetting the show on stream. I like the animations. It's just I keep forgetting like it's a little
Hey.
different, and then like if you pop out to a menu, you got to bring it back in. That's one thing I don't. I wish that they would allow you to have multiple menus out at the same time, so you could keep your chat and then go into
That's a good point.
like
Yeah.
the menu for like if I wanted to bring up a subject on the bottom, I'd have to go into that, and then I'd have to go back out of the chat.
hmm I think he's going live in like half an hour or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got his alert for it.
It's the
So.
night, yeah, and I technically tease later, I guess too, right? So it's a good night for it. Yeah.
hmm I was like, I'm feeling a bit better. I was like, I also kind of don't want to risk the way my voice has been that it's gonna like go out in the next 2 days, and then I don't end up going live at all this week.
Wow.
Because normally I go on, I would go on Wednesdays, right before Wired Wednesday. And I was
Right.
like, you know what? My throat's settled right now. I will go on. I will go. Um, we had this
Yeah.
topic we want to talk about. So what I was gonna say is,
Did you have
s-
laryngitis or bronchitis or something else?
I have
Just a cold, bad cold.
itchy cough,
Uh,
allergy. It was like allergies, but allergy medicine. Like none of my stuff was. Like I literally have half a pharmacy that I take. Like I have Allegra that I use. I have Flonase, which is I mean I have it's the generic, so it's fluticasone propionate is the, and then I have the inhaler form of it
mhm,
because that goes into my chest. So you have to have a different, for your nasal passage than you do your chest.
mhm.
And then of course I
Wow.
have a regular like what do you call it? Inhaler as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And nothing. So I think I just got a cold.
You sound well. You sound and look good right now. So that's an improvement.
I also think it could have been COVID because I had the stupid
Oh,
I had the fever for like the
oh,
first
wow.
24 hours like I did when I got the original COVID. So I was like, thanks.
Wow. Oh, jeez.
But then like my son's been sick, so I'm like, some probably more likely a cold because he's too young to be. At least as far as I know, they don't really say like under 5 years old doesn't really tend to get,
I
as
think
far
it's
as I
rare.
know.
Yeah, it's rare. They can, but it's
And
very rare.
with the weather changing, and it like got nice here for a few days, and now it's gonna be cold again. I wouldn't doubt that it's cold and allergies and
It's the same here in the New York City area. It's just every day is varies, so you don't know what jacket. I just go whatever it is right now, and then whatever jacket I need. So hey, there's
damn, I didn't even give him a warning. I just popped them in here.
That's fine. Give me a second.
Yep. So your tab you had that S7 Plus, right?
yes.
You know how it has the second screen mode that you can use with like a Windows computer?
Outside of decks, or is it?
Where you can use it as like a second screen wirelessly for your computer,
Oh, yeah, like kind of like with Apple with the what do they
like
call it?
Sidecar.
Sidecar, right? Yes. Yeah.
So one of the things that I discovered this by accident, I was like, I'm just gonna mess around and see like what protocol they use because I think it's the same. I'm like, I think it's the same protocol as what they're using for wireless decks. So here's a funny thing. So basically all carriers, if you have unlimited data, you always have limited hotspot.
hmm
Well, one thing I figured out, I don't know, like what's you're an AT&T, right? What's your plan?
Yeah.
Um, like your
I got
line, do you know?
I got the base. No, I don't mind. I got the basic one for now. You know, they try to push you into the. So the way I get, I have a corporate plan. Long story, Premier account, whatever. But so you get it, and I did the pre whatever they call it, the wire paperless billing. So they're like, well, you're getting this $65 or $60 plan for 50, and then the $75 plan would be 65. But don't do that one, and then because that doesn't have any hotspot. The base one does, which is weird, right? But of course, they want to push you in. That's the one thing I didn't like, where they try to push me, of course, into the all-you-can-eat package, for lack of a better term, the buffet, right? Which is like, well, you're getting it. It's normally 95. You're getting it for like 85 or something, or 75. Yeah, but then that doesn't include what little I have to finance on the phone and taxes and everything else. Plus I did the $5 a month jump thing. I can leave after a year and a half if I want to upgrade at that point, right?
Oh yeah,
Add all that up, and
that.
you're well over $100. I mean, for that kind of money, I could have go to Visible, or it didn't make any sense to me. So I'm like, let me try the base one. If I'm not happy, I can always upgrade. But they were like, why don't you start with that one? You can always downgrade. I'm like, no, let's start with because they just they get paid commission. So the more they sell you, the more they make. I understand that. So.
And it's almost always more of a pain to downgrade than it is to upgrade, and that's
I'm sure, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and,
I'm back.
well, they're like
internet, and I was able to just go on the chat and do it, and they try to keep calling call this number, and I was like, no, just talk to a person. They're like, oh, we can do it for you, right? We can do that right for you here, and they just ask to, verify your information.
Yep.
They go through this process. They have you like unplug the modem and then plug it back in when they tell you, so they can see it ping at their end, and they do it right.
Can you hear me?
But if I went, I can hear you. If I went to downgrade, I'm gonna have to call in or like go to the store, and they're gonna have to go through this whole maybe.
Not worth it.
Although
right.
I've had okay. I mean, it's not been the best experience. It's been what I expected because it's Spectrum. I expected it to be a pain.
Yeah.
And they kind of lied to me. They told me I would need to get a different modem from them to upgrade.
Oh, God.
So I was like, oh, I'll just set up the one I have and see if it works with Excuse me. I had the issue when I first set it up. I had bought a modem and it was having issues, and I was like, well, I'll set it up with this one to at least see if it's working. About an hour after I set it up, I had the same issues where it was doing where it would recycle itself, and it kept doing it. And I'm pretty sure what they do is they push the profiles that they have. They push that, and I'm pretty sure what they do is when it's your own, they push something that's like that and it just doesn't work with. And I'm like, it's right on their site listed as one of the top models for the plan.
Right.
Yeah, issues. So I just plugged theirs back in. Perfectly fine. I was like, there's no way I should have to get a new one. It's the one that has it has two ports on it, or it has no. Yeah, it has the 2.5 gig port on it. So technically, if they had a 2.5 gig plan, I'd be able to do it just fine. The reason that they have that is because then you can have multiple devices that are technically taking higher speeds, and the frequency can still come through, and my router can handle it and stuff fine. But what I was going to say to you is what's kind of cool is I'm on T-Mobile, and I have the unlimited plan, but each device then has 40 gigs of hotspot, which I never even nearly touched that. Although when our power went out the one night, it was kind of handy to have. And when I was setting up setting up my network, it was kind of handy because I just tethered to my iPhone.
Right.
Because I had decent speed on that, because I knew that they would be resetting my network, and I didn't want to have to wait for it to reconnect and then reconnect through the Wi-Fi to be able to continue the chat with them. So I was like, I'll just tether, to my phone, and I don't have to worry. Plus, I have two phones, so technically, I have too many. Two phones I have too many phones. Actually.
Right.
But
two phones not for free. Yeah.
But
no, it's funny. Actually, it's funny you mention that. Those are two of the features they try to sell me with the big plan. They were like, "Oh, you get 40 gig hotspot and you get HBO Max." I'm like, I'm never going to use 40 except for your type of situation once in a blue moon. I'm not going to use a 40 gig. What am I going to do with a 40 gig hotspot? I'm
if
almost.
I wasn't streaming all the time.
Yeah.
I could literally just get by with probably most of the time with my phones, because I have my iPhone, and I have my Note, and I have a Pixel that all have. Yeah. I could just literally just use the hotspot for the one. When that runs out, go to the hotspot for the other. When that runs out, go to the hotspot for the other. And technically, when I do run through the 40 gigs, I mean, there still is hotspot available. It's only like speeds after that or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I have Visible on my iPhone, so like I can use that too.
Cool.
I mean that's limited to like 5 megabits per second or whatever. But what I was gonna say is the neat thing like that I was thinking about is for anybody out there, if they do have like unlimited data on their phone, but they have a limited hotspot on their phone, if they have a Samsung phone and a Samsung tablet that can do the second screen thing, if you turn second screen on your tablet, if you go then on your phone to the wireless DeX, it will see your tablet as a wireless DeX display, receive it like a TV.
Oh, okay.
So you can.
So I could do it. I could do it on the tablet instead of my big screen if I don't want to use the big screen TV.
So some people are like, but your tablet has DeX built in. I was like, yes, but you have to use Hotspot. So with this, it's using your phone's data. So if your phone has unlimited, but you don't actually have like active much Hotspot, it's connecting using that as like the signal, but it's not using your hotspot data. It's using your phone's data. So like
the 5G data, right? Exactly.
Yeah, so like some
That's
people
a great
might have
tip. Thank
unlimited data on their phone.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, I in order for hotspot to be active, I'll just pay for like the cheapest one that gives me 5 gigs of hotspot or whatever, and then they can just use their phone's unlimited data since it's essentially streaming directly to it. And I tested it, and like if you're in your car out and about, you just have to have a connection, or like the other alternative is portable. You can get like a cheap portable router, and some of them will let you connect through that, but it will still use your phone's data. So you can say like still use but it would still allow them to connect to each other. But or like you can create a hotspot with the tablet and then still use the phone's data. Like there's ways of.
That's so cool.
But obviously, then you're limited on resolution.
Right. No, but I could see it. I could see it being useful because I don't.
Wireless
I think
DeX is only 1080p, and then like the video streaming is going to be limited based on your phone's plan. Then, so like if your phone carrier limits it to 480p or whatever, it's going to be limited. But I like the fact that you don't have to have then like a ton of hotspot data.
Right. That's
if you're
exactly
a person that
it.
like never hotspots, but you use a lot of data on your phone, then in this instance you still get the advantage of that kind of, and then you're able to use the touch from your tablet. You have the larger, and you still have the DeX interface, and then your phone's still able to be used. So actually, if you wanted to do that, and then like hand the tablet over to a kid, and then have like the app open on, or you use it and hand your phone like to the kid and have like an app pinned on it playing. You could do that, and you're still technically using both, and it's kind of a bypass to that.
Are you saying I could even be on a call while I'm streaming something onto through the second screen onto the S7 Plus?
Yeah, because of
that's crazy.
The audio thing too. The only thing I don't know is how that works. Like, since you have to select audio source, and you can have it as like your phone or like the display that it's paired to.
Right.
So
Hello,
I'm assuming a phone call treated separately though.
Right. So. No, but thanks. That's a great tip because.
So I have a question, Michael Pepper. Yeah. How you got this to work with 1080p? Because remember last time you was lagging, now you're perfect on 1080p.
Because I went from internet that was at my parents' house, we were like maybe getting 10 megs. And then when we moved here, I was getting 20, but I upgraded, so now we get 40. And so just that change, I guess, is enough bandwidth that, I mean, it should be able to handle this. Essentially, with 4 of us on here, I mean, I'm such low. If you think about it, I'm only taking up a quarter of that resolution right now, and even at the full, it's not that much bandwidth. It should be fine.
You're still paying the $15, right, for the Pro thingy?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what happened to mine. They accepted me, and everything went through because I gave them the code you gave me, and I talked to them back and forth for one day, and they say yes, and now it's gone.
That's weird. There wasn't like a lapse in payment or anything.
No, I got plenty of money.
Or like a misunderstanding of like billing date changing because of them changing that, and like somehow they messed it up on their end, probably.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go back and find out what went wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, Latrell.
Yeah, what's going on, Latrell?
And for anybody wondering, I am actually using the Audio-Technica, the AT2020 that Shelly Saves the Day gifted us.
Yeah, it's nice.
To my wife's. I have mine. My AKG P120 is over here. But I like the fact that this is on another arm and I can put it lower so it doesn't block as much of my face. And it's in the primary port right now, so I'm using that because I just wondered if, like, it being in the first port and the other one being in the second was what was causing the issues with some of the delay. Since before that I was just using a single microphone with the Scarlett Solo, and now I'm using 2i2, so I didn't know if there was some difference in that. And then the other thing, of course, would be the 2i2 I'm using uses regular USB, so I'm using that with a USB to USB-C adapter into the back of my computer, where before it was just straight in, so there's obviously differences in that, but I mean, it can support it, so there shouldn't be.
Yeah, I have another question. You're not using a capture card, right, to get 1080p? Oh,
I mean, technically, my camera's only coming in at 720p.
Really?
I was able to.
It's kept picking up 1080 though.
But it's outputting the stream at 1080.
Yes. Oh.
So the entirety of the stream is at 1080, but my camera's technically only coming in at 720p.
So is it upscale that Melon's doing?
So Melon would just be upscaling. Oh, I mean, Melon doesn't care what my camera's coming in at. My camera could be coming in at 144p. It's the camera that it's gonna, you know.
But I can see this. This is 1080 on my. I see the difference on the 1080 on my even on the webcam.
So like if I were to go in here though into like the camera at my end,
so
and, like,
upscaling.
For example, bring now the 360p.
It even looks clear for me on my end.
You should see that.
Yeah, it's very clear.
That, like mine is going to change a little bit. Now here's 480p.
That's crazy because I mean my cellular at that.
No, here's 720. No, here's the 720 from my camera. So I mean, it's not going to change anything as far as like Melon's end because that's just set at whatever it's set at. I'd have to like go in and like downgrade or like they don't do it like I think Streamyard is reliant on your camera's input. So, like, if your camera can't, it will just throttle it. Oh, maybe not. I think there is a way you can adjust it, though. So, like, if I was streaming from web, like, on my phone and didn't want it to cause issues, I could set it so it would only, even if I was paying for the 1080p, it would only output at 720p. But with Melon, it's just going to do whatever it's going to do, I guess. If I'm Lagfest 5000 because I'm over here like trying to stream on 2G speeds or something, it's just gonna do it.
Right.
No, but honestly, it's crispy, so I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Eric complimented me the other night. I was like, wow, I'm just using the Sony webcam utility and that's I think as far as I knew last, that was only like 553p or some random weird number for it.
Yeah.
I want to get the capture card. It's just
But didn't you have one?
I had one, but it's USB, and so then I would be plugging that into the back of my monitor, and I've had issues with that already where my monitor is acting as my hub and passing it through. I mean, that's technically what it's doing right now, but there would just be one more thing in between that because instead of this being USB into the back of the monitor and then from the monitor to my computer, it would be HDMI. It would be HDMI adapter from my camera, like mini micro adapter, or I could just get a new cable. But to HDMI, and then HDMI to the capture card, and then the capture card to the monitor, and then the so it would be a bunch of more things. So I don't know if it would be laggy, and if I would be sacrificing, that just to get slightly higher quality. I don't think it would be worth it. I'd rather just...
Nah, right now it look good, so I don't think it's needed in my opinion.
And I recorded a couple of videos where I just sit down and I'm like, I'm just gonna...
I'm gonna get off for a second. I'll be back on my computer.
Okay.
All right, cool. No problem, brother. So yeah, I'm glad everything's working. So and you know how to do the bokeh in the back. No, not bokeh. Bokeh. Pronounce that correct. So you know.
I got Bokeh in the back.
That sounds like a song, man.
No, but actually, I'm impressed with the quality. I'm glad
She
that you
got
fixed
loca,
it.
she on crack. No.
Don't get him started, Lewis. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, you remember those toys that you whine and they come up and they scare you? Yeah. All those toys that you whine and they keep going and going and going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Can
but
I, can I
yeah,
ask you one?
go ahead.
No, it was something you said a few minutes ago, Michael. Just want to confirm. So,
Yeah, let's
did you
get back to
say
the.
another thing with this camera is with this phone, I'll be able to do directly without using eCam or something else? Or Epicam. I'll be able to link the Ultra directly to stream on Melon.
Oh, I was just saying, like, obviously you could stream from your phone.
But do you need a third party app? That's
Oh,
what he's
I
asking.
mean,
How would I stream Melon from the phone? Do I need a third party? Yeah.
so technically speaking, you could just sign into the Melon app website. Okay, so there's a number of ways you could do this.
Okay.
So one way you could, if you wanted to use your phone but be on your tablet, like have your phone like up on a little tripod or something, or like propped up.
Yeah.
You could do you could basically do what I was saying and like cast decks from your phone to your tablet, and then you would just open the browser on the tablet and go to melon, app.com, and then sign in, and then since it's technically using your phone, it would use the camera from it, and you could do it that way. You could test and see that, because I know that like
Yeah. I'd have to test that. That
the
sounds like
cameras on the Tab S7 Plus.
I gotta say something about that when he
The only
finished.
thing I would say is like the advantage with that is it would let you switch. You could use all your rear cameras, and you could toggle between.
right.
Now if you were looking at like if somebody was using like the
Computer?
Tab S8 Ultra, which now has 2 cameras on the front, including like 4K,
Right.
then I would be like, there's no real sense in like. I mean, the cameras on the Tab S7 Plus are really decent too. I don't know what
Yeah.
I think they're 1080p, but
1080p.
still,
That's what it is.
I mean, technically, unless you were streaming in 4K, like you were using like the YouTube app, or like using YouTube, and I don't think you can stream 4K on the YouTube app even. I
Like
think that's
OBS or
capped,
something.
too.
Yeah.
Even if you had like 10 million subscribers, I don't think they let you stream at high res. From
Right.
the app. I think it's limited because of so many people doing that bandwidth and stuff. But
Well, let me say I just went a traditional route. Say I want to just use my Mac with Melon and the S22 Ultra. Is that going to be possible? I think it should be, right? Okay.
Yes.
you can
And
just
that's a
use
better
like
route.
there's a number of apps. There's a number of ways. There's a I'll have to look. I think there's Android version of it.
Yeah, there is.
There's an app called NDI. And so
NDI?
what that does is you can use that as like you set up a virtual input, and then you can use your phone as
There's many
wireless,
apps, but I would like to add
at
something when he
but like
finished.
that allows full like 4K resolution of and it's free.
Cool.
Or there's like iRune, which is okay, but I think is limited to 1080p. No, the only thing that's nice about that is you can do wired or wireless with the others, where with this NDI one, it's wireless only, so even if you connect a cable up, you don't get like the advantage of that. So if you don't have very good wireless, connectivity. So, but there's a
It's pretty
bunch.
good.
Like I would probably just use the iRune. It's not like on a phone where, like with my camera, for example, if I switch to 4K, I get a crop in, right? Where like on 1080p, I might use that if I wanted the full wider angle.
Right.
On your phone, it tends to kind of be the same view whether you're at 4K or 1080p.
Yeah,
It tends to be kind of the same, which I think is interesting, right? Because like if you're on the same sensor and you switch between, you would think that like if it was 1080p, it would just do some weird crop.
Yeah.
Now some
Yeah.
phones did, like for a while, like you could, if you could only do 4K on like the main sensor, like some of them was like the wide sensor, and if you switched to the main, it would
Right.
that's what you had to use for 480 or 1080p. So if you did change resolution, it would. That's been a while though. Like, yeah, so you can easily what's the other? There's a number of ways to do it. The other method is you can get there's an app that will actually do clean video from your, kind of like how you can have a clean output from a regular camera. So it pops up your camera and that shows a clean interface and would output through HDMI, and then you could use like the USB-C to HDMI cable and then use a capture card if you really wanted to. Like if you're like, I want to test this out because someday I'm going to get a regular camera anyways, and I'll have my capture card. Or like a cheap capture card, you could do it that way. Especially if you just wanted a clean video and didn't want like all other. I mean, there's tons of ways. Like I said, I would probably just use. I think I was using iRiun, and they have a paid one.
What's it called?
One time, iRiun, IRIUN.
He'll send you the links and everything.
I'll DM you. Yeah. So either DNI, David Nancy input, or the other iRiun.
Yeah. Cool. Can I ask something quick?
Yeah.
If you do it on your tablet,
That's the interface.
Cool.
If you're doing it on your tablet, it's difficult. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Because your tablet it's hidden a lot of menus.
I think so. I think I'd rather use the tablet to look at comments and then use the Mac for the.
Well, you could get your comments, but you got to beneath in the bottom. It cut off a lot of stuff, so you got to swipe up.
Right.
I learned that the hard way on my third live stream on my tablet. So that's why I don't recommend using the tablet, because everything's hidden. So if you swipe the wrong way, it'll take you to another spot. So it's a waste of time. Now, if you have the Ultra, the big tablet, that got the big canvas, you could do it. But on the 7, it's too small. Trust me, I've run into that problem.
Although the advantage you have with your Tab S7 Plus, the one thing that it does do really well is the fact that you can split screen, so you could have like the Melon app tiny to the side, and it's not really going to make a difference. And then you could have or like big and then have your comments small. Like the fact that you can kind of do that.
That's true. With Dex. Yeah.
The only thing that did bother me a little bit when I was trying to do that was I tried to have like the YouTube.
I was inviting people because of that. I couldn't get it.
And I tried to have the YouTube app open just in like a small column on like the right hand side, like I usually do when I live stream, and then have obviously YouTube muted, so it was just the chat there. And then have like my live streaming app open on the other part. But when I was trying to use the keyboard case, and I even tried it with an external, when I would click into the YouTube app, it would darken the other one, like really dark on the screen. So I was like, I couldn't see. So something with but I did figure out if I pulled up YouTube in a browser and did the chat that way and split screened it, then it wouldn't. It was just using it with the YouTube app for some reason. When you would type in chat or comments, it would darken the rest of the interface.
Just my only gripe is the real estate on the tablet. That's the only thing, because if you invite people, right? For example, if you invite people, it's going to be hard because you got to switch certain menus and it's hidden. I tested. So I had that problem. I even tested with my friend Tab S7.
The one thing I would say, so are you going to get a Mac Mini or something? Is that what you're asking?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a Mac. I don't know if you know, Mac is my go. I have a MacBook Air. It's an old one. It's a 2015, but that's what I'm going to start with. And I might be upgrading that. Yeah, I left Windows here.
So because there's a.
I'm just the opposite. I left Windows for Mac, and I'm not sure I'm going to go back. We'll see. But
there's a.
No.
You can always use your. You can always use your Android tablet as.
Jason C.
As a as like a second screen with your Mac too.
Oh, that would work?
Yeah, there's a couple apps that you can do that
with.
Oh,
that's so cool.
Which is pretty cool.
So it's giving you the Sidecar without having an iPad. That's pretty cool.
So
so you're the guy to talk to with this stuff.
Splashtop, I've talked about it quite a bit. They have a X display. wireless or wired version of it that's pretty decent. I like Duet. It's paid. Look for it. Usually though, I can't
Is it
remember what the regular
one-time
price
payment?
is on it because I think I almost always, when I was looking at it, like when I bought the iPad and iPhone version, I paid this price, and when I bought the Android version, I think I got it on sale again. I think it was like $10 when I got it. Or maybe it's less than that now. It might even be less than that on the regular. I think because when I was looking at it one time, for somebody, of course, once you buy it, you don't see the price anymore. I think last time when I was looking around, it might have been like, it might be cheaper than that. Let me look. Actually, I can look on their website, but I like it just because some of the things with the other ones sometimes is like your audio pass through can get messed up, or like you lose resolution advantages.
Right. That makes sense.
Do you saw my mascot
Anyways,
on YouTube, Michael?
yes, I did.
Okay, cool. My niece did it. She did it from scratch. He knows. Sharky knows she's a badass drawer.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. She could draw anything.
And welcome to. Okay,
That
sorry.
was Big John and LaShawn, and 90% was done by Tech Loving Mama, the name she gave me. So since she's here, thank you for that. Everybody
Yeah, I
loves
see that.
her.
T-Fun. I saw that and I was like, that sounds like a brand, like some new brand of a product or something.
Yeah. Good though.
Yeah, she's the one that came up with 90%, or I'll say 95% of the name.
If you were dyslexic and you read it backwards, there's a U in the middle of NFT.
Wow, that's a good one.
Right.
No, I liked it. I was like, hey, that's Lewis. Like lounging there and
Yep.
chilling. And yeah, I've had a heck of a time, like
That's good.
when I was trying to come up with my whole like saying about like I don't only talk tech, I live it, and then every time I want to talk about like tech, like for somebody's use, not using the saying tech for your needs. It's brilliant.
Right.
Every time somebody talks about technology, they're giving Lewis free promotion for his channel. No.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh, that's funny.
What is yours? What is your slogan? Sharky, I forgot. Well, I know it, but I wanted you to say it for other people.
No, absolutely. So it's where finance and tech intersect.
I like it.
Thanks. Yeah.
There you go.
It just came to me like a few months ago, just in the middle. Like I was walking around in my bedroom and I was like, wait, this is exactly what this is. That's just like with you, Michael, and with you, Lewis. That's exactly what my channel is about, right? It's the intersection of the two things. So
You know,
because I
I
don't see them as that different. You know, there's a lot of overlap there. So
That's much
That's
better. That's much better than where tech went the deets and finance without the spreadsheets meets. That's all.
that's a little too much. Yeah, I like it, but it's a little too much. Right. Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, but I really do feel like, you know, finance needs tech, tech needs finance, and it's kind of like, you know, the idea is to bring Wall. Hey, yeah, he's back. Bring Wall Street and Silicon Valley to Main Street. So if I can do all that, if you can even do that a little bit, I'll be thrilled. You know, so that's it.
Hey,
He's
Latrell,
back.
do you have is that behind you, or is that like your windows blocked out or something?
No, those
The two-
those are curtains.
Oh, okay.
Oh, curtains. Gotcha.
Or not curtain. Well, they're blinds. I meant to say. Sorry.
Lines are
They're literally paper. I'm not gonna lie. From the
that's
store.
fine.
Is that for window, like blocking out windows though, so you don't get the
It- It's just they're just regular windows. So
yeah.
but it looks like
So
my
where's the-
color balance is off. Let me try to fix
You're
this.
fine. So where's the pool table in all this? We were talking about the pool table on my Twitter space the other night.
That's to his.
Over there.
I was gonna say that's
Oh,
to his right, I do believe.
Okay. Michael's
Just
already got it
editing
sussed.
Look, Michael already got my house layout all memorized in his head and everything. He know what my room look like, the living room, the bathroom, the guest room. He even know the garage. I was like, damn, Michael, you know the garage? Shit.
It's not like I'm like over there like zooming in on like the reflection off your TV that's to the side and like
He just
triangulating
pitching
things in the
in. He
room.
just looking at the fine details. He just I see you got that little chip there on your wall. You might want to get that fixed there, sir.
Right.
Ooh, that's nice. Sweet. Oh, okay, so Tech Love and Mama said she was renewing a couple of her domains and that that she saved 20% on her Namecheap domain renewals with Honey. Oh, cool.
Very cool.
You're always saving stuff.
I just use GoDaddy.
I need to
GoDaddy.
actually go in and I got so confused. I think I set mine up with GoDaddy and then they're like, oh yeah, you can get your .com with this and then you get your email with this, but then I go through and it's like I went and checked like the Michael Pepper because I did a .tech and I go and check it and it says like nothing's on there. And I was like, wait a minute, so I just set that all up, but now nothing. I was like, what is going on? So I need to figure out how to actually have it like because I wanted the .tech and the .com. And they had a deal at like the time that you could get both or whatever. It's like, what is?
Yeah.
So I paid like 99 cents for the year or whatever deal that they had going on. You got like your first year for a .com for 99 cents. So I did it through a separate one, and then you can link them.
Man, that's cheap. I mean, .coms are. I mean, themselves isn't really expensive for a year. They're probably like $20 a year.
Well, the only way I was able to do that is because I had one for my photography page before, but I use a separate email address so that I could do it again because you don't want to use the same email address for your. At least it's not smart to use like for your account because then if somebody they're like, oh, I can guess your sign in and take control of your website because it's just your email that you use to have everybody contact you.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I keep getting these emails from these people that have the most English names, yet their email address is obviously in like Chinese and Japanese text and although one thing I noticed is they do a really good job with converting to English because some of them you can tell it's like they just put it in a translator and it's like there's no punctuation in it.
Yeah, Bing translator at that.
But what throws me off is lately everyone will be like, oh, go check our cutout out on Amazon. You get back to them and then they're doing that like, oh, but they want to do the, we'll refund you deal. All that, that gets on my block and spam list. That's what that gets.
All you gotta do is buy it first, so we'll refund you via PP. That's what they always say. Not PayPal, it's PP.
I hate that, and it's totally a violation of Amazon's rules. It's a violation of like YouTube's terms and service. I'm pretty sure it's a violation of some U.S. law as well. Like, I'm pretty sure there's some business policy in there, and like. There's got to be some sort of contract law that's a violation on. But of course, because they're not U.S. based, they probably get it around. And then when you look on their Amazon, it's like no wonder they have, such odd numbers. And then you look at all the 5 stars, and it's basically like copy paste of the same statement. It's like
love this, great, love this. It is basically the whole
And some of the companies, I was like, man, if I wasn't a content creator, I wouldn't know the shady business that they're pulling. Because it's like companies I've seen other creators work with. I don't want to say, but like, because I don't know if they got the, I don't know entirely that and sometimes it's some third-party company, it might not even be the company itself. So I'm not going to say, oh, their company's pulling, because like one time I found out that's exactly what it was. It was some third-party company that basically, what's the one? Not Uplift, but there's like a sit-stand desk company that like everybody works. They offered me a deal.
Easy Desk or something
and it was like one of these where you just put it on top of your own desk. And then I found out they wanted to do the refund thing, and I was like, nope, and I'm reporting you. But I told them who I was in contact with, so that way if it wasn't the original company.
Wow.
And I emailed the original company, and I didn't hear from anybody. So I'm like, well, so apparently it must have been somebody doing some shady business through the actual company, because Another time I had that
Oh,
with an
wow.
e-bike company, and the original company emailed me, and they're like, "We need you
Yeah.
to tell us who." And so I like literally screenshot them everything I had, and they like contacted their attorneys, and within like 2 days I
You
saw that
flexing
the
far?
Amazon page was down for the person that had contacted
Yeah.
me. I was like, yeah, that's the way a legitimate business does it. But
No, that's a blatant scam.
so I'm
Yeah.
waiting to hear on the most recent one because there's this company that's called like Zealot or something like that, Zealot, and they do like
Wow.
they make like Bluetooth speakers and stuff, and so they contacted me, and I was like, this could be legitimate, but I'm waiting to hear back if I get the we want to refund you thing, and if I do, it's just gonna be another gets added to my list.
Yeah.
It's so sad too because it's like, how many small channels get taken advantage of by these companies that do that, or think that it's like an okay thing and don't realize that like.
All the time.
I guarantee that if a big company finds out you're doing that, you're never getting any sort of deals with any company, and they're gonna find out.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
they're gonna know. Because they're gonna have somebody that's gonna be like, or there's gonna be a legitimate company that's gonna be like, oh wait a minute, this is not, wasn't us, and then they're gonna find out,
Right.
and then everybody else is gonna. Or I know sometimes with these deals, it's PR companies that work with multiple companies, so they're gonna.
Yeah.
They're definitely
I used to
gonna-
fall for it though. I used to fall for it all the time when I was back in 2015, 2016, around when I just started. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens a lot more often than we think.
Can I see
I've
that?
had a couple companies. I've had a couple companies do something which I was like, that's a little different. Where they
Can you see that?
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
I'm bidding on them, trying to get it from eBay. Sorry to interrupt you.
I had a couple
less than 200.
companies. I had one company be like, we'll send you a code, and you put that in on Amazon, and then you can get it for free. And I was like, that's a little.
Oh yeah.
And-
No, I noticed it was a code, but it was for 99% off the product.
Well, I
99%.
had one that did that, and it was to get it completely for free. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And then they emailed back and they explained, and like they went through this whole thing, and I was like, oh, okay. Because their deal was at the time, and this made more sense, that was the only way they could ship one to me was through Amazon. And so instead of having me give them my address and everything, they were like, so that you don't have to give us our address, you put that in, and then that pings us, and we then go in and we send it to you. Because then that. Instead of us grabbing your information, we can just click send one to you. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but I used to
I was
thought
like,
that
that's
was
a little bit
great
different
deal.
than like that's a little bit different than like, oh, you pay for it, we'll refund you. This is more like this is how we ship everything. So you go in and you put, and then that way you don't have to send us your information. We don't have your personal like home address. Because they were like, do you have a P.O. box? I was like, no, I have a home. So they're like, okay, so this is how we're... So that made more sense to me because that's a security purpose. That's not a violation of any, like...
That's not bad at all. Yeah.
That's a different, like...
Right.
They're like, we just ship everything through Amazon anyways. So...
Now,
it pings
I
their...
want...
So...
Sorry. I was going to say, I wonder how it works with... Because I went to my local USPS downtown, the post office, and... I was asking them about I was asking them about how it works with the PO boxes because I was like, could they ship a UPS package to a USPS PO box, or like how would that work? Because I mean, obviously UPS and all of them don't have PO boxes, and if they did, you know how expensive that would be to have a PO box for every carrier. So I was wondering if you could ship it to a USPS PO box.
You can.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or if the companies even will.
The funniest thing I've ever seen was what was the deal? Oh, somebody so certain things like medications and I didn't even know electronics do this sometimes where USPS and FedEx will work with each other. And so sometimes stuff will get sent like via USPS or via FedEx, and then USPS does the final delivery.
Yeah. Usually it's USPS that does the final handoff.
But what cracked me up was that somebody had one time that like their package originated via USPS, and then FedEx took it over, and then and then they were having it delivered to their PO box, so it ended up going back to the USPS service. So it's like they should have just sent it direct the one way, and it would have taken like 2 days less. So yeah, I have a package coming tomorrow, and it's like I got to sign for it, and it's like the first thing. So I'm hoping that like they just knock at my door here, and that it's not one of the where they just like slap a sticker on my desk and say or on the door and say come down to the post office and pick it up.
I hate when they do that. They did that to me not that long ago.
So I don't know if they'll knock, because obviously I just have a tiny, slit in the wall, tiny box in the wall, so it's not like the big boxes comes and it's gonna. So hopefully they'll just knock and deliver it. I mean, I guess if they do, it's not that far away. It's only but I really don't feel like having to like wait and then till my wife gets home and then go down there. And
that's why I'm like, that's even like they used to do that to me a lot. Like with FedEx, I had to start going to the FedEx office on the FedEx, what's it called, delivery manager, and I had to do those little things where you print it out and then you put your signature on there, like a signature release form, because they would just keep putting notes on my door and not actually attempting to deliver it, and it was just making me mad.
I was gonna say I have like with my FedEx and my UPS, I have like the pre-signed stuff. And what's funny is one time I had something that was like it said direct signature required, which means that they're not supposed to allow the indirect. And this was like been since, because during COVID, they would just leave anything whether it required signature or not really.
It'll be indirect. But now everything is indirect.
Recently, it's still. Like, it's back to requiring signature for things, but they still are leaving stuff without me signing for it, so I was like, okay.
The employees don't care.
Well, I mean, I guess their thing is, like, the chances that somebody steals it is probably slim enough that what they would pay out is probably less than, like, if they're risk employees getting sick and they have to pay out, like, certain...
Yeah, if they're delivering expensive package in the hood, then I doubt they would do that. But if you're in Spring Meadows or something like that, then I don't think they care.
Yeah, Take Love and Mama have a question if you don't mind.
Sorry.
Ignore the actual.
If I do professional email, I should do one with my first and last name and another that says Tech Love and Mama. So,
I do for my website. I do there's separate emails, help@renovate.com, response service at renovate.com, and then I got Latrell Jennings at renovate.com. So I would do that for my.
I mean, see, you can do,
but it'll be more expensive. It's like $10 per email when I use Google Workspace.
See, well, honestly, I would just do your email address. I mean, you could, if her, since her brand is Tech Love and Mom, I mean that's what she is on YouTube and Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, I was
then when you email them, all you do is you say, "Hi, this is." I'm not gonna give her government name, but hi, this is from
this is Tech Love and
Mama. Because even when I write people, it sounds redundant, but
this is Tech Love and Mama from Tech Love and Mama.
Okay, honestly, so TLMdigitalsolutions.com right. And Tanya.castle@TL. Yeah, so that would work. Because like when I email, I always say, and this sounds funny and sounds redundant, but I always say this is Michael Pepper from Michael Pepper Tech, because what if I ever hire somebody on? They would still be from Michael Pepper Tech, but they would be like, so, I could have them emailing, or I could have, and it's just the way it is. And but what's really funny is they'll still say, like a couple times when I've had stuff sent, it's really funny to see on the packaging to Michael Pepper Tech instead of them just using my name.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would say actually, because I think Tech Love and Mama, it's just your YouTube thing, so you probably only need one email. You can avoid a lot of confusion with just using one.
She said for less than $40 a year, I get up to 3 emails. Yeah,
but I don't think it matters if you use TLM or your name. But I'll probably use one email, or you could do that too.
techlovinmama@tlmds.com. Yeah.
Yeah, but can I say something quick? I think two is good in case one of them get like corrupted or something happened. You cannot log in. You got to back up. So it's
No,
good
I
to
have
have
a
two.
service side LLC. Oh, okay. So
It would be
yeah, that
under
makes
the
sense.
same service though, so you would probably get corrupted by both. Yeah, but I don't know.
So remember, I got locked out from my account for a whole 5 months.
Yeah. I mean, I just got my business email and then I got my regular Gmail, so they could
I
find
need
me
to
at
get
my Gmail.
my tech one working so I can swap that out on all my stuff. But man, that's gonna be a pain. I think there's a way that I can do that with TubeBuddy, where you can where I can go in and because otherwise. Am I going to have to go through all 200 of my videos and change out my description for the new email address? It's going to be a pain in the butt if I have to do that.
Yeah.
I was going to say real quick, I mean, even if, something does go wrong with your email, you're still under control of your domain. So you could always just make a new email and then explain yourself. And they'll still see it under the same domain. So
yeah, that makes sense.
That's true. I think... I'm just curious.
I have a question.
I think with TubeBuddy, you can't. There is a way to, as far as I know, I have the free one. I mean, I'd pay for it probably just long enough to do that if I had. I mean, you can have it like find the text and replace your.
I have a question, Michael. So. Since you got the MX mouse, right? Cause you know how you got the big back hump? That was bothering me to use it, right? And I kept using it for 4 days. It kept bothering me. That's why I bought this. Because I couldn't use it. I don't know if you got the same experience as me.
The mouse.
I mean, it doesn't bother me too much. I guess the way I use it is different.
I couldn't do it.
It was hurting my hand more towards the edge of the desk, anyways.
It was hurting right here, so I couldn't do it.
Oh yeah.
I just hold it like this towards the edge of my desk. Right. So MX Master 3 game. Ian Stick was just talking about his.
Well, like right now, I'm just using since I'm at my iMac, I'm just using my.
Ian was talking about how he had an MX Master 2S that just stopped working. Now he's looking at a refurbished Master 3 or renewed or whatever, Amazon renewed.
This is expensive. This is like almost $40, but it's good for the ergonomics.
It's like half of the mouse. Half the price of the mouse. But I got two of these too, and I love these things.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the fact that they're both USB-C and the battery lasts like an eternity on these things. I like the fact that I have the backlit on and it has the sensor.
Oh, you got the keyboard.
Like, you just bring your hands over. I just bring my hands over the keyboard and it lights up. And then when I have my hands back from it, it dims.
I want that. I need that.
The fact that I can switch between 3 devices and then like in the software on the computer, it tells me which is which is set up for what. So if I forget, I can just kind of.
Yeah,
Mr. Tech 207.
The other day, I was sitting over at the couch and I was using my keyboard and my mouse with my iPad, and I had my son grab something off my desk and he had bumped my iMac mouse, and so it woke it up and it was just sitting there. And I had my iMac set to like, I don't know, what is it, like 3 hours before it goes into sleep, because I don't want it falling asleep while I'm like doing this if I don't move my mouse or I don't type something for some reason.
Right.
I mean,
so
if it goes to sleep, doesn't it?
I just hit the button on my Logitech keyboard, the one button to have it switch to my iMac. Or no, on my mouse, I just hit the one button to have it switch to my iMac and brought the cursor down to the corner, put it back to sleep, hit the 3 to bring it back to my iPad, and kept doing what I was doing from across the room. You know, so the fact that it has the multiple inputs on the mouse and the keyboard.
That's like a universal control thing, basically?
I mean, really. It's changing the physical Bluetooth.
It's just switching inputs, basically. Like if you're switching inputs on a TV.
Wow.
Because I got one hooked up to my Mac Mini. I got one hooked up to my Galaxy Book Pro 360 and one hooked up to this Yoga.
But you know, the keyboard that you have, Michael, I got the one that is more expensive. I got the Craft.
Yeah,
you got the one
that costs $100 and all that fancy stuff.
Because I got that for discount. I bought it for $167, and it cost $200. So I bought that
had-
more than a
Good
year
deal.
ago.
I had the Satechi keyboard and it was okay.
Nah.
But the problem that I had was every time I restarted a computer, or like if I turned it off and wasn't using it and turned it back on, I would have to like repair it. So if I were going to use that with a desktop, I would have to have like a wired keyboard and mouse to go into the settings to and then the mouse only had one device, which was stupid because I was like, wait a minute, they're both Satechi and they're both from the same series, but why did they only do single input on the mouse and multiple? And I guess they figure you're probably not using a mouse with multiple, but if you're using a keyboard with multiple and not a mouse, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
So
Wait, now
it didn't make any sense to me, so I didn't like that. I give that to my dad. I think he's using it with his iPad or something.
Oh wow, cool.
yeah, I wanted to say now. Shark Fan brought up universal control. Now
I
you
love
still
that.
got your Galaxy Book, right,
Yes.
Michael? And did you use multi control yet? It's in the Samsung settings.
Can you
If
use
you don't
that
mind,
with a phone?
Yeah, here, let me. If you don't mind, here I'll show you this real quick. I'm just sharing the
Hey,
window.
Jersey, not to call you. I think you've been stuck on the same.
Yeah, you were frozen, by the way.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Really? Yeah, this is
Yeah.
it right here. This I think it's basically the same thing as
Oh, so
the
you can share your screen. There you are.
Oh, so nearby Galaxy tablets and Galaxy books. So it doesn't work with okay, so yeah, it's the same thing. Like obviously, universal control doesn't work with your
Correct.
phone either. But
yeah.
So
Now I
I don't
want
have
to.
my Galaxy tablet anymore, so I wouldn't be able to use it.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
got a Tab S6 and a Tab S7 I could try it on. I wanted to see because what's his name? How you say it?
Oh, it could be a
Davon
video.
Digital. Whoever he's on
Delvon.
Twitter.
Davon.
Davon, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
Delvon.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We got established. But yeah, he
And
was
it's-
talking about that. He said, "Hey, you should try it out." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll get right on that." And that was probably a week ago. And I
Yeah,
forgot
I
about it
ended up.
already.
So I wasn't using the tablet enough for it to really be worth it for what I was going to use things for.
Right.
So I went through the most obscure journey ever when it probably comes to tablets. I went from an iPad Pro 11-inch to I was like, oh, I really want something bigger. So I was like, I'll just when the Tab S8 Ultra came out, I traded in my iPad and I got like a really good trade-in value towards it through Best Buy, and I was like, I'll do this.
Oh,
and
to
then,
Best Buy, huh?
and then keyboard, yeah, because I did it after all the trade-in deal. Well, because Samsung would give me basically the value of the keyboard case for that iPad. I was like, nah,
Yeah.
no.
Wow.
They would be lucky if they give me like $300 for it. I was like, nope, not for the
See,
model I
this
have.
is why
So
this is why I
went to
stopped
Best
using
Buy,
my
right?
tablet. It's just putting
So
that
I went to Best Buy and I traded it in, and I got the keyboard case, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay, I have all this. So I have like what, a $1,300 tablet or whatever, because I got the more expensive one, and I got a $350 keyboard case, and I was like, this thing is like almost as much as my MacBook. And I'm
Yeah,
not,
I was
and then
gonna say.
once you throw on and then I
Doesn't
had
make
another
sense.
case for if I wasn't using it with the keyboard. I needed protection all around it. So, like, I had all this, and I was like, I'm not using it as much as I thought I would. It was beautiful. I used the thing for, like, 2 weeks without a case, and it was great. And what was funny is the minute I got a case, I had it in a case, and I scratched the edge of it. And
Oh no!
I
Are you
was like,
serious?
oh,
Ooh.
gosh, I got to cover this up. So I found a way, and I covered it up. And fortunately, Best Buy didn't notice it when I returned it.
You're terrible. No,
I don't
I've
think
gotten
they
away
would
with
have
that.
cared either. To be
And-
honest with
but-
you, they pretty
So
they
here's the
pretty
crazy thing.
flexible.
So I returned it to Best Buy, and I got an iMac and an iPad Mini for what I had gotten a tablet for. So now I have a full-on
What?
iMac, and I have
Bro.
my,
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
and then
You-
I have my iPad Mini, and I love this thing. And you know
Right.
what?
Right.
It does what I want to do with a tablet. It does tablet things really well. It's
Right.
still super powerful. I mean, it has the processor that like my iPhone has in it for the most
Right.
part. Let's see, what's the deal though? It only has. I actually think it has less RAM than my iPhone though, because I think my iPhone has 6, and I think they only put.
Yeah.
But
The
anyways,
pros, yeah.
it's a little bit. I mean, you don't have the high refresh rate screen, but who cares? I mostly read on it, watch some videos, scroll through some stuff. I still get Sidecar. I still get universal control.
You
I
read
get-
books on your tablets?
I read a lot of like articles and stuff. I use the
Yeah.
Smart News app
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like books, cause I like
ebooks.
I could never read ebooks, even on a Kindle, Paperwhite, or whatever they
Apple
call those things. I always
News.
needed a hardcover book.
So I use like
Technology never
Apple
replaced it for
News,
me.
and then
Do
I
you
have
read? Do
Smart
you
News,
read?
which is like a RSS feed news aggregation thing, and you can like pick specific topics.
I've heard it's not bad. Yeah.
I use that, and then of course I got like my normal social media.
Oh,
It kinda
Also
like-
my TikTok in.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
oh God,
No,
TikTok.
delete
Actually,
it.
that's mainly just to
Delete
check
it.
my stats on my TikTok when I upload
Oh,
stuff
man.
to see like what the, I got my widgets and everything. It's actually like the perfect size iPad if you're just doing iPad things, really.
Wait.
Like portability, throw it in my bag. That's the crazy thing. So it was what, 400 and whatever for that, $4.99 or whatever. For
Like the
that.
base one, yeah, something like
And
that.
then my iMac, I got a good deal when I got it. Actually, I did technically pay a little bit more than what the cost for the returning the tablet and keyboard were, because I got Total Tech while I was there. But by doing that, they discounted $100. They discounted. So the iMac was discounted while I was there, and then they gave me another. It was like 50 or 100 off that. So
Happened.
basically, it paid for the cost of Total Tech, and I get 2-year warranty on the. I get Apple Care 2 years included in
Oh
that,
yeah.
and then also coverage on this. So that basically it paid for itself. Plus, it already paid for. Plus, we bought stuff when we moved, and I saved like $100 on an air fryer. That thing was $180. I saved $100 on that, and I saved like
$80
so
air
I've already
fryer,
saved. I've already saved like almost $300 from having between like the Total Tech prices and like other things. So I've already saved more than what it cost me on it, and basically I paid $100 because I had to pay for like some taxes and some extra stuff. Having traded in my iPad and trading back in like the keyboard case and stuff, but now I haven't. I mean, I had a desktop computer, I have my MacBook and stuff, but it's nice to be able to have like my Mac. I just sit down and use it. If my wife needs to do something on a computer, she has a big display she can do that on. There's been a couple of times where I sent my son over to the computer and I just tell him to wake it up with a mouse, and then I use universal control from my MacBook to control the cursor on my iMac, and I open up Safari and that flicks like from across the room and pop up his shelf for him. And then I just go on and continue doing my thing. So there's a use for it. It's kind of a weird use for it. My other thing was like, I kind of wanted a second display for my Mac, but I was like, wait a minute, why would I pay, $1,600 for the base studio display when I can buy a whole ass iMac for like $500, $600 less? Actually, it was like ended up being $600 less than what I would have paid.
Wow.
And you know what? Yeah, it's a slightly smaller display. It's still 4.5K. It's still a beautiful display. It has a built-in speakers. It has built-in camera. I mean, it doesn't have center stage in that camera. But like I can AirPlay to it, so I can use it as a second display wirelessly that way if I want to. There's other ways around it too. It's like, so I get most of the use of what I was gonna do, but it's still its own computer. So if I don't have my Mac plugged into it, my son or my wife can be using it, and it's not just sitting there as like a dead display. So I was like thinking about it. I was like,
What color?
Blue. Plus, I want to test. Plus, I want to test out some things. So it'll allow me to test like the base M1 processing to the base M1 Pro, because my 14-inch MacBook is the base M1 Pro, and like the differences between like the memory, of course, in there. Having 8 in this and 16 in my MacBook. Some things like that that I wanted to test.
Oh, so you got the base. You got the base iMac 2021. I know.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. That's a good.
Since I had my MacBook, I wouldn't need a more powerful desktop for what I'm going to do with it.
I meant iMac,
watching stuff.
Yeah.
It's for some. I mean, I've edited some thumbnails, and it's still fast enough. Most of the stuff I'm doing, a lot of those tasks are single core. So on the M1, it's going to be the same performance as like literally an M1 Ultra. That's what they don't. If you're doing single task stuff,
Yeah.
The difference between an M1 and an M1, spec'd out Ultra, $8,000 machine is
Not
identical because the single
right.
core performance is not why you're paying for a,
Right.
$8,000. It's kind of like
Exactly.
how like an i3, you can get an i3 that's single core performance might be the same as like an i9, but it's the multi-core and having like 10 or 12 or whatever cores they're up to now versus like a 4-core non-multi-threaded,
For that level of multitasking, like
so,
video
so if you're
processing and
just
stuff,
doing
right?
basic stuff, it's
Editing.
like I've been using my Galaxy Book Pro 360 a lot more lately. Battery
Oh,
life
cool.
has really improved with some updates and stuff.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, I've been
Speakers,
updating. Like if
man,
if you look in the Samsung updates thing, it improves it a lot.
all I'm
Yeah.
gonna
The
say is
drivers.
if anybody ever wants to buy another laptop again and really uses their speakers a lot, never listen to one of the new MacBooks.
But this thing has the best speakers I heard in a Windows laptop yet, though.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
I'll
can't
give you
lie.
that for sure. Like my Razer that had where it had like the big top firing speakers, and it was supposed to be kind of like the Mac, like similar to like a 16-inch MacBook Pro. Whatever their tuning they did, and whatever it was just awful. For the fact that the Galaxy Book Pro 360 has like rear speakers, and whatever the
Yeah,
tuning they did is pretty. And I will say,
it's
out of
under
the
the
box, it
laptop
was probably like one of the worst experiences. But like
Really?
after like updates, like initial updates, and then like most people don't, you know, you can go on Dolby Atmos like support. I think you have to download it'll have you download the utility in the store to do it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can,
And it's
and
free.
that really helps a lot too, and it's free.
Wow.
Yeah, because usually you have to pay for it. A subscription.
They did
I
it for
think.
free, and
Dolby
then
Access.
and I got it free on my,
Oh, really?
and I got it free on my desktop because I had bought. See, I bought a Razer Blade 15-inch, and Razer includes that for free. And so when I signed into my Microsoft account, it added that into. So when I went to my desktop and signed in, it popped up, "Hey, do you want to install it on your desktop and get it for free?" I was like, "Sure."
Wow.
So apparently they don't limit the licensing on that too, which is kind of a cheat because you could literally like go to Best Buy, buy like a Razer laptop. I'm not saying to do this, but you could literally do that, sign in, and then return it, and now you've got the licensing.
But
Oh,
hey,
man.
Michael,
Funny.
about the Galaxy Book, do you have Realtek audio consoles enabled on it still? On the Galaxy Book?
I have whatever the highest. Like I went in and changed it to like, what was it 24-bit, 16,000 megahertz or whatever it is. I changed that all to the highest.
Because it comes with Dolby Access and it comes with Realtek audio console. The only thing I really interact with Realtek is like when I got my headphones in, like right now, I'll turn up my volume and it's like, no, we need you to approve this first and make sure you're not blasting your eardrums out.
Yeah, that was good.
Click on yes, and then you could go ahead and turn up your volume. But that's about it.
Yeah, they.
But I haven't turned up the format. I should do
we're
that.
You can
gonna
change that in
protect you.
developer settings, I think, Latrell, right, Michael? Yeah.
No, it's just in the
Disable.
regular settings. For
No, but
Just,
go into
it's-
developer settings, disable absolute volume or something. It
Oh.
should. Yeah, check it out.
Oh yeah, there is a way to do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
It's just,
Now, I
it's
did-
just a warning, like even like on like most. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if
Good
No.
job, Sharpie.
I know that most phones now have that too. Like if you're using wireless wireless already have a limit usually anyway.
No.
But like wired earbuds, you plug those things in and you go to crank the volume, it will give you like a hearing warning too.
They
Yeah.
used to make it where you had to accept the prompt first, but I see it right here. It's called ear protection. You could just turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I
Yeah,
noticed, I used to, or not used to, I still edit with my Galaxy Book, and I think it's a Windows 11 issue, but I had to go into my sound settings and I had to turn off, let me see what the setting was called, because when I was editing, even with my wired headphones, I'm like, why is it delayed? Enable audio enhancements was on, and that's what was screwing everything up with the audio.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
that made it sound better too. But it was screwing with my editing, so I was trying to scrub through the timeline. I'm stopping and playing all the time, and screwing up like where I do my jump cuts and stuff like that. But I think
I'm
that's
just-
an 11 issue because I don't think I had that with 10.
it's funny every time I plug mine in my Galaxy Book Pro 360, and I always get the warning about do not use above 5 amp, 2 volt, whatever. And I was like, because I'm always but I was like, wait a minute, I'm literally using, like, you guys send out a 65 watt. It's because I use my my
I know what you're
OnePlus
talking
one,
about.
and I think that's a 5 amp instead. So I think it's
okay.
I think it's a higher.
You
and
talking
a
about the
higher
charging
voltage.
warning?
Yeah, so I get that every time I plug it in. They're like, it can affect your battery. I'm like, I'm using it.
Samsung's been doing that for a while now. Like even with my Notebook 9 Pro, like from 2019, it's been doing that. Even the 2018 version.
It's
But
dumb
yeah, I
though,
mean,
because
you could
even using their charger, I get that warning. So I was like, it's not the charger I'm using.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
but I use you heard Nomad released that 65 watt charger.
Oh yeah,
Or the
there's
game
a couple
charger.
people
Yeah,
that got their hands on that now.
yeah, I use that, and there's
The
no issue
game
with the
charger.
Galaxy Book. No issue with the Galaxy Book when I use that.
I mean,
But Samsung has a pretty small charger that come with it too, though. It's
yeah,
pretty
it is
cool.
pretty small. It's like the size of that thing's like the size of. Actually, it's smaller than the.
The iPad one.
You remember the original
Yeah.
iPad? It was back when Apple had like 5 watt charger for their iPhone, and it was like a 12 watt for the iPad,
The 30-pin connector.
which is smaller than which that one was like slightly smaller than I think the newer iPad ones. Yeah, it's even smaller than that. That's tiny.
Yeah, and it don't get hot either. And like, I mean, sometimes it does actually, but I mean, it's still pretty nice. I mean, I have a Nomad cable plugged into it, but
No,
yeah,
'cause I
like
do-
before Samsung used to do it where it was like pretty much every other Windows laptop manufacturer where it's just like they got the power, the brick, you know, the what's it called, the power adapter, you know what I'm
Oh
talking
yeah, the
about.
external.
Yeah, just the junk that I had to deal with, and like it's nice because you could just use your phone charger and you don't got to carry around like 2 separate chargers and like things like that. It's just a USB-C port and a small little brick.
What's crazy now is like the newer versions, like Thunderbolt and newer versions of USB-C can now support up to I think they're up to like 240 watts. And they're saying that the next version is going to be powerful enough that the next step up from that, because like, you know, was it USB 3 and like Thunderbolt 3, you could do like 100 watts, and now with like USB 4 and Thunderbolt 4, they're at like 240. They're saying by the time the next iteration comes around, they'll be able to get enough power pass through that you could actually plug in like a full, like high spec'd out, like like a gaming PC that you'd need like 1,000 watt power supply for. You could potentially plug in with like a USB-C cable. That's their goal.
Yeah.
I was like, but how much? Like, where's the heat though? You're still gonna have to have
Yeah,
some
where's
sort
the
of
heat
like,
dissipation?
like
Right.
your
That's
wall
true.
brick will have to like, and you don't want to catch your wall on fire because of like. But that's
Right.
but they're saying what it will probably do is like you'd have fans on your wall brick, and then you'd have to, and then it would be designed in such a way
Well,
that like the plug is in the middle of it, so it would have to be the only thing that could be plugged in, and it would like have a way that it has to be plugged in like directly into the wall, and it has its own surge protector and stuff. I'm like, so basically you're telling me it's going to take up a whole circuit at that point. Makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, okay.
yeah.
Michael's just
100
like, honey, the
watts.
cable caught on fire again.
100 watts. So if I do my math right, we have 110
Well, unless you have a
service, right?
special
So that's like 9.1 amps. So most people, I mean, some people have 20 amp or 30, but a lot of people have 15 amp, you know, things. So if you think about it, if you have a fully loaded out machine that needs that high of a power supply, just the machine alone, not including like your monitors and like anything else hooked up, that is going to use up most of your service. But
At that point, you got a server room, bro.
but what's crazy?
Yeah,
Like a
but
Linus
if
Tech Tip
you
server
have-
room.
Check this out. If you have a cable could detect when it's super hot to shut off itself, then that's a good safety issue to put in, like a protocol. A certain level of hardness will shut it down because it's not safety. It could caught on fire.
I think if anything, we're going to see, and we've already seen some companies kind of do this, is we're going to see like a multi-cable thing where like, oh, you have a laptop that you need to have plugged in. It has all this high power. Just plug in like 2 cables, and then you can get 400 watts or whatever out of the thing. Since most and
more cables to carry.
It's crazy.
And, it would just be
right. The goal was to get rid of all the cables,
or basically one big thick cable. That's it.
Yeah, the goal.
And would you be able to
bring
that on a
the goal
plane,
was to
right?
eliminate all our cables. Now we just get more cables.
Yeah, that's what I said.
One of the things that people have been discussing, is they want larger MacBooks and stuff, and they've been talking about, like, oh, it'd be great for them to bring out. It's like, do you realize that a 16-inch MacBook Pro, the reason it's only like 99.9 kilowatt hours is because that's the maximum you can carry on a
right, 100.
Under 100,
yeah.
so they limit it.
Oh,
so if you wanted so what's going to happen is the only way to go bigger is you're going to sacrifice battery life unless they're using a more efficient chip. But even then, it would have to be like substantially more efficient. Like your efficiency would have to outweigh the draw, and then so there's limitations. So that's why there was a company that I think Linus Tech Tips covered that. The laptop had a battery, and then there were all these external things you could slap into it. But what was crazy is you could hook in two battery packs basically, because so if you're going to go on a plane, you just have them in their own carrying cases, and it's because it doesn't say you can't have more than in total. You just can't have that in a single.
Yeah.
Single
pack.
So then you could have one built in, and then you could have a couple extra. So you could triple your battery life by slamming those. I'm like, but then when you realize this thing was a portable workstation, and that basically the battery itself would maybe get you an hour if you were lucky. That made sense why you would want to slap a couple extras in there.
That's true.
But more stuff to carry.
But
it's self-defeating a bit,
heavy. I'm at that point, you might as well just literally carry a desktop in a box, onto the airplane, and just bring that, and then have that at your hotel. Because even then, there's still no way you're actually.
Not using like Marquez back in the days.
But that's
he was crazy having all that around.
I've seen some funky things though lately with I saw a thing on Amazon the other day that this company makes a mount that clips around the base for the new iMacs and gives it a VESA mount so you can mount it, but then you still have the T-shape dangling off the bottom of your iMac.
Yeah.
I was like, Apple should have made that so it swiveled up. See, here would have been brilliant. They should have made it so it swiveled up. And what they could have done is made it so that where the stand connects at the back, there's 2 pins, and you pull them out to the sides. What you do is the iMac can pivot like this so much, right? And only to a certain point. But if you pull those pins out on the side, it lets it go further, but only then stays above that, and then latches into place at this, and then the bottom of the mount. The bottom of the stand have holes for a VESA mount. That would have been brilliant.
Wow.
So that way you could just, mount a VESA mount to that, and then you'd still have a pivot and then it wouldn't be able to pivot back further than you wanted without, pulling out those pins or whatever. And then they could have also done is said, you know what, if you really want, you pull those pins out and you turn them far enough and it unscrews, and then you could attach them out right to the back of it. They could have made it so much easier for people, but I guess they don't want you, because I don't even think there is an option to buy an iMac with a VESA mount.
Oh, really? With
I don't think so.
To mount, you mean to mount it on a wall or something? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Hey, look, he's moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. I looked at the actual YouTube live stream. I was like, wait, I'm still frozen. It looked like I was just mad the whole time. Like, don't talk to me.
No.
Silent treatment.
We heard you.
Yeah.
What Michael, do you think there'll be? I know there's rumor about a 15-inch MacBook Air with maybe an M2 or something base. Do you think that's
Yeah,
possible, or just a bunch of?
there's a weird rumor that like a between amount. So like the MacBook Pro is a 14, technically 14.6, 14.2 and 16.2 or whatever.
Right.
That the MacBook Air is going to be a 13.6 and a 15.2, so that basically all it means to me is they're just narrowing the bezels. It'll be the same size. The 13 point, because that's
Wow.
a 0.3. That's a 0.3 inch. That the 13-inch will be the same size, and then a 15-inch though for an Air. That's going to be a weird because like. But I guess if they're
kind of like.
But I think I don't see any point in them having a 13-inch Pro anymore. Necessarily.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
They're definitely phasing that.
I mean,
one out.
they
Yeah,
could if they
14.
want, like for people that just wanted like a base M1.
But like you say,
model,
that
but
one
needed
had,
the,
that's
but
a
needed like the
2020 that
fan
had,
to get
yeah.
the extra performance for the multi-core stuff. But if you're doing that, we're probably just stepping up to the 14-inch. Like once you consider what they
Right.
charge for like the 16 gigs of memory and the storage stuff,
Right.
and most
Right.
people going up to that are probably increasing their memory and their storage. It's like $300 difference. So what they can
Right.
do is they can throw in like a larger Air that's not as expensive as like bumping that up. So if you were to look at like the 512 gig storage, 16 gig memory of the M1 Pro, that was like $1699. So if they were to throw this in at like a $1499 price point, they'd be undercutting that by $200.
Yeah.
And then people that still want the Air, because the battery life you would get is really good on those, and the 13.6 inch I think is still going to have just as good of a battery life as the 13-inch M1, because the newer chip, the M2 chip, should be a little bit more efficient.
Right.
It's only a 0.3-inch larger display, and like newer display technology that they'll, as display technology, even if it's still only LCD, which, I mean, I can't see them putting mini LED in that yet. By the time I think they'll do mini LED in the Air, the Pros will have OLED. That's
Did
my
they
guess.
put
Oh,
did
yeah.
they put mini LED in the Apple Watch yet?
No.
The
I
Apple
remember they was
Watches
talking
had
about
I can't remember.
Well, they
what
play
type of
games.
display.
They still call everything Retina, even though
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a relative term.
Yeah, can I show you something?
I can't remember if it's LCD or let's see, Apple Watch.
I know the Galaxy watches use OLED. I
Yeah,
put
Louis
my
does.
wrist though because I thought I had my Galaxy
No, I wait
watch.
for Michael because I want Michael making me the big screen.
It's
I need the-
it's LCD because
Yeah.
they're using the LTPO like they were using with like iPads
Oh,
back
yeah.
in the day. They've been doing
Yes.
that for the last couple generations. So in order to get the 1 hertz, because it took LG and so Apple uses LG and Japan display displays for like their Macs and their iPads, and they use some Samsung displays for some of their iPads. I think the mini LED ones are Samsung, but I think the rest are all like LG and Japan display. So as far as I know, with the watch, they don't. Yeah, I mean, I love my Galaxy Watch, and the fact that it didn't have to pay extra, and it's stainless steel is really nice.
Nice looking.
Yeah. Michael, can you make me the big screen? I want to show something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just waiting. Just double click on me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Oh,
There it is.
snap.
There it is.
What I need,
T4YN.
I need LED lights to put on the wall so it could glow and command strip, and they'll be good to go.
That looks cold. Yeah,
I
that's
see 4
dope.
hands and 2 faces. Ah.
Okay, I'm done.
Nice.
Oh, that's so cool that you just double click to bring it in and out, and then like drag to like reorder. That's
Yeah.
so handy.
Seamless.
Yeah, I like my ecosystems. I mean, I use them all on the daily. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that
it's gonna be-
Snapdrop had an actual app. Like, I thought you just
Oh, they
go
do.
to the website, but I guess they have an actual. I mean, and basically, it's just a. I mean, in reality, all it
Is
is
it-
is just a.
Is it a web app?
Yes, but no. I mean, it's an actual app, but instead of instead of it loading up like in Chrome, it's just a way of having a. I mean, but it's not really any advantage versus just going to the website. Really, it's still the same look and all that.
Did
that
you
would
say
be a web
Snapchat
app.
or something else?
No,
Snapdrop.
Snapdrop.net.
Snapdrop? What is that?
It's kind of like
Like-
AirDrop.
Dropbox?
It's like
okay, like
how
Dropbox or-
it's basically if you're using it, it's probably because you're transferring files from iOS to Android or vice versa.
Or Android to Mac OS or Android to Windows potentially, but like
It depends
Snap-
off your Wi-Fi. I thought they discontinued it though, or
Yeah, okay,
at least for a
that might be
while it
something I
wasn't
could
working.
use, yeah.
It wasn't working
So
for a
Snap-
while.
Snapdrop, you said.
or like using it with other people
Yeah,
if you don't
I'll send you the
want
link.
to. If you don't want to remember like.
So that
the,
could almost be like that for me doing stuff from the filming stuff on the Ultra and to get it on my Mac. That might be a way to go, right? Snapdrop.
I tried putting a link in the
I do
chat,
it-
but I think it blocked me because it's a link.
That's all right.
Oh, because you're not a mod, probably.
No, he should be.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Are you not? What the hell? I thought I added you as one last time.
Yeah, I gotta add you to mod. I think you're not a mod in mine either. I will add you.
Okay. Oh yeah. What the heck? Why does it not?
Of course, I'll try to search the mod.
Okay, now you are.
Well,
Now you can do it.
Oh yeah, because I was gonna. Okay, I was gonna do it, but they had removed the They had removed the where you could just click the hamburger menu and do add as mod.
They did?
Correct.
Okay, so they had okay. For a short amount of time, that was available on. It didn't matter if you were on like desktop or Android or iOS. I had it, and then they removed it
yeah.
from the
Oh, mobile.
iOS one for some reason. So like when I went to do it, I was like, "Oh crap!" and I'll have to do it later. And then I forgot and never did.
Yeah, that's YouTube being YouTube. No, Google being Google. 'Cause-
Oh, and
Yeah.
the other funny
Yep.
thing with Google that they did recently is for about one day, I couldn't use picture-in-picture on my iPhone, and then there was an update
Wow.
to the app, and it's back again.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I was like,
Yeah,
what
I
the
saw
heck?
that too.
I was
saw
like, it's
that
gone,
too.
and now it's back. And
well,
then I
you
was
can
working
use
on-
you can use it.
Oh.
You can use it unless you have premium, right?
No,
Right.
Android it doesn't matter, but for
Right.
iPhone,
On Android.
And then they were claiming, oh, we're gonna bring it back, and they got people pissed off because they were actually just talking about with YouTube TV, and people got confused, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
But I was like,
I was-
wait a minute. So if you have YouTube, so basically, it's like they want you to pay for stuff if you want to be able to use IP. And then,
Yeah,
and then here's what I find interesting.
Oh, it's
Apple
fine. Take your
themselves
number.
say you can't hide stuff behind a paywall
No-
like
no
that,
worries.
but they're letting Google do it. If any other, I guarantee if Netflix was like, you know what, we have a free version of Netflix now, but you have to have the pay version to, or like Hulu were to do that, they would get slapped.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Google would be like, oh, we're the biggest, advertising, and we make a ton of money, and we pay Apple like 12 quad billion, no, not quite that much, but they pay them a ton of money every year, like $8 billion a year or whatever it is, that they basically can. It's so
Right.
frustrating, and I think Apple's gonna get themselves in some antitrust stuff soon, and I think it's gonna happen in the U.S. because did you see
They
what
already
was
did
happening
before.
with
with
developers where
Facebook,
they're
Google.
telling developers that they need to update their app, and they have like 30 days
Yeah.
to do it. But then there are like
Oh,
several
yeah.
Apple apps that are
That's
like
not
2,
good.
3 years old, like their own apps.
Yeah,
And
I
so
noticed
they're like,
it.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that
I'm
makes
like,
sense.
wait a minute. Apple literally could have gone into the data and like fudged it and made it even if they weren't updated and been like, oh yeah, it's up to date.
Right.
And the fact that they
Yeah,
didn't do that is
that's
even
just-
more bold. Like they could have literally
That's just being
fudged
hypocritical.
the stats for their own
Yep.
apps, and literally,
Yep,
and they
hypocritical.
literally are like, nah, we'll just leave it so that people can see that it's old stuff. And I'm like,
Not setting a good example for your
So
own.
they're
but I
saying-
wonder if the fine print
Yeah.
is like if it's a utility default app that it doesn't have to fit the certain things. But it's like, yeah, but
Apple's just like, it's our platform. We get to do what we want.
Yeah,
they got
so
some
that's
people
not
mad,
right.
and I agreed. I was like, wait a minute, it was a game.
But about
Like,
the law and
how are
treat
you
trust
gonna,
about USB-C.
how are you gonna update? How are you gonna update a game? Like, if there's no new levels, there's nothing broken on it.
Yeah,
What are you
exactly.
gonna
What are you
update
gonna
so
do?
that it's new?
Slightly change the hex color of the logo or something like that, and like,
Add a new level and then remove it. You could
mhm.
do that, like add a level and the
just
new
those
level
three.
just says congratulations, you've made
Or
it to
put a
level
bug in there on
Right.
purpose,
anonymous, and then like remove it the next, and then like a month later remove it, and then just keep doing that so that they think you've constantly up. Like, seriously, there are certain apps that like they don't need that. There's no change. There's no update. There's no like new thing that they're using. I mean, I guess technically like. If it was really old, there would be like some new API stuff with like the new metal and like new core or like new stuff with new hardware. But even then, it just automatically works with the new hardware. That's kind of the problem with when Apple's like, well, you need to update it. But at the same time, the way that their stuff works is like, if you are using the API, it just works for the new hardware. So there is no need to really go in and.
Yeah.
Like if you're a camera
well,
developing app, like that allows multicam, if you're using an iPhone that has 2 cameras or you're using one that has 3, it just works for it. You don't have to like code your app to know whether it's one that uses 3 or not.
The only time it made sense is when they first put the notch in their phones. Then yeah, that made sense. But even still though, not all apps even go all the or adapt to the notch. It's still like a black bar.
Oh, you don't even like. I obviously we don't want to. I won't play anything, but
like an iPhone 8.
Like this gets me constantly. Let's see if it actually is still doing this.
Hey, Michael, I'm a dip because yeah.
Oh, they must have fixed it for a while. Oh,
what is
Netflix.
That?
For a while on the notch side here, it would like cut into the app, so they must have fixed it and bumped it over like the 3 pixels that they need to do. Or maybe it's just because that's must call better call. So.
Huh? What'd you say?
You about to be out?
Yeah, I'm about to head up out of here. Appreciate you having me on, though, man.
Yeah, see that. You see when you mentioned when you mentioned
with that too. So
when Michael mentioned hamburger, Latrell was thinking Culver's, right? So
actually, I was thinking Chick-fil-A.
Oh, okay.
I had Culver's yesterday. I
think,
want to have Culver's again.
I'm guessing.
I still haven't tried Chick-fil-A.
That technically T's probably starting his stream and.
Yeah, so we should
already, probably like 5 minutes
done, yeah.
So it's all good. We kind of ended up all over the place on the stream, but that's okay.
I'll stick for the ending.
It is what it is, you know.
Stay for the ending.
You know, it was a good conversation. It was fun. I kind of just put in a topic and then was like, we'll just talk about whatever. I don't really normally stream Mondays. I had been the last couple weeks because I was like, well, Lewis isn't feeling good. You know, Sunday nights we've been busy. I was like, 2 nights a week is a good thing to do, and it's fun. And I was like,
yeah.
Tech Free Needs was talking about stuff, and I was like, all right, I have some ideas. I was like, well, just hop on and do something in between. There's a good slot in there. It always throws me off because I always think that T's like a lot sooner than that. Then I forget that he doesn't stream till later because his son doesn't go.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh yeah. And he's back from vacation now because he was gone for a few weeks. So.
Yeah,
I haven't watched one of his streams in a little while now.
Yeah.
Plus, apparently people weren't getting notifications for my streams for a while. So I'm gonna be sly here and use this as a clever situation to tell people to make sure that they have the notification bell turned on to all, not just and see if they get notifications.
It still doesn't guarantee it.
You know. See what's going on. I know. Sometimes...
I never had a problem with YouTube notifications. Surprisingly, it's been flawless for me.
Apparently, sometimes
I
think
do
some of that
problems.
can be if you haven't posted in a while too, that they won't send them out, and if you haven't live streamed in a while, they like until you streamed a number of times. But
you know what?
I get as soon as a video drop or a live stream. I get like you. Like as soon as you went live, I got the notification.
Man,
You know
you
why
must be
I got
really annoyed
problems?
some of those days where I was like test streaming and you get like 27 notifications. Michael Protect is
Hey,
live.
I already
Protect
get
is
27 notifications. I mean, look at this, bro. This is just like on a good day where it's not even that many.
Oh, that's
So
nothing.
it kind of blends in.
I'm subscribed over 1,000. So that's
Oh,
why my notification
yeah,
are
Lewis
broken.
is the king of.
He
And
knows.
this isn't even considering all the group
Even Sharky got mad
notifications.
at me. He said, "Get off, condense." I'm over 1,000.
I went and removed a bunch of like channels that I weren't watching for a while.
I tried, but I got too many. I tried one day, took me 3 hours. I was too tired. I said, "Sharky, I can't do it."
And then I was showing somebody my unread messages.
Oh my God. Yep.
302 unread messages. Which,
Man,
to
you
be
get
honest,
anxiety.
to
I
be
was
honest, it's
watching,
probably mostly verification codes. I ain't even gonna
I
lie.
was
Lewis,
watching.
did you see? Did you
I
see
was
what Tech
watch-
Mama said?
Oh yeah. That
Travis,
told people to unsub and then resub
Yeah,
and turn on
that
the
could work.
notification.
Oh yeah, that's
'cause
true. That
when
works.
somebody's a new sub, it doesn't do the same thing with the whole like lapse in between or whatever. Where
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I guess that with the thing, if they haven't watched one of your videos in like I think 2 weeks or something like that, sometimes it won't notify them again until they've gone like watching your content again repeatedly. So that way, if like somebody subscribed to you, but then they're not really watching your stuff, they're not bought. But I'm like, if somebody subscribed to you, it's because they want to know again. But like,
Well,
what about the channels?
to be
Because there are literally channels that post once a month.
No, but
because
that
it takes
is
them
true.
weeks to make content. So what about those channels?
I was gonna say though, it kind of makes sense, but they should expand. Like 2 weeks is too soon. Maybe like a month or something like that, or a couple months where you haven't been watching a channel. Because there's a lot of channels I don't even watch anymore. I'm still subscribed to because I forgot about them.
Because like DIY Perps, he takes like weeks to do his projects because it's all like this hand done stuff and like he's got to get all these
wow.
parts. Can you imagine like he's posting like once a month now? So like if people didn't get notifications, that'd be crazy.
Well, you know the notification situation always been broken. Always since I've been on YouTube, so it's nothing new.
I don't know. I just always check my sub box, and then sometimes it's really weird. Is
But I can't. I
when
got too
I'll
many
see in there, I
subscribers.
was like, I'll see in there, I was like, hey, didn't somebody such and such have a thing that they were going live today? And then I look through and I don't see it anymore, and then I head over to Twitter to see if, and then it'll be like and then all of a sudden it'll pop up and like, yeah, they started a half an hour ago, and it's so annoying. Because I always
subscribe.
Oh my God.
Subscribe. So
because what gets me is like usually I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go set the reminder for it, and I'll go to look back for it again, and it won't be in my feed. And I was like, where is it gone? And then you go to try to search for it. So sometimes they don't even do that. Sometimes like the live thumbnail thing will just disappear. Or it won't show up on their live on their main page, and
you know the best are week. I get them, but I never get them on the subscribe list. I always get them on the homepage. I don't know why.
And the other channel.
So they're not in the homepage.
And they're doing weird stuff. Like the Android app is different than the iOS app now. And they for a bit they actually had a section that was separate for like if you clicked on somebody's channel, you could see Shorts is separate from their regular, and then they also had a separate for live stream for a bit.
Oh God, yeah.
But only for some people did they do that. I was like, wait a minute. I was
silly.
I was confused. I was like, because you see that on your own, like in the YouTube studio. I was like, wait a minute, how am I seeing that further? Well, apparently they were experimenting with like tabs for a bit. I was like, but with none of the things that I want. I want the shorts separated from long form, but like,
right.
I don't know. I wish that they would let you sort out like
language. There you go.
What really annoys me is when I click on a video that the title is in English, but then none of the video is in a language that I understand.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't got the notifications on. I definitely did turn them on, so I don't know how I got the notification.
Something quick to the
Because
panel.
with the language thing, I want to say real quick, is because I feel like that isn't fair to the creator, because like if I'm clicking on their video and then I start watching and I get like the intro and then I get past the intro and like let's say they have a slightly longer intro and now it's like a minute in and then they start speaking and I click off, they're gonna have a bunch of people that probably did that and it's gonna affect like their click-through rate, and it might even affect like what like if that video gets suggested to people, all sorts of things, like affects their numbers if it gets pushed out, because if they see a bunch of people clicking on it and clicking away, they might not push it out to people. So they need to have a way that, like, if it's not in your language, that you can just say, like, don't feed this.
Yeah, I just want to ask something quick. You heard the rumors that podcast is coming to YouTube. They're trying to integrate it as a tab.
Really?
Those are the new rumors.
Trying
So
to
they're trying to-
integrate what?
About that.
What's it
What
called?
do
You mean Google Podcasts?
Yeah, so we're gonna have
podcast.
YouTube is gonna have its own tab to create podcasts. Those are the new rumors.
Wow.
Oh, so like if
Podcast,
for like
It's
audio
called a
only
podcast.
or audio and video or
Yeah, that I was gonna say audio only because YouTube's
No, I don't know.
always
It's
been
in
only
the rumor
video.
stages. I was reading on Twitter and other third-party
I mean they have
websites.
YouTube
I
Music,
remember.
but that's got its own
It,
separate.
I was gonna say it would make
Yeah.
sense if you could categorize a video as a podcast and then just scroll through all your
Mm-hmm.
podcasts. So kind of like Lou Later, because I like video podcasts more than
Yeah,
regular.
like
podcasts.
video podcasts, and then probably you could distribute to different platforms. Who knows?
If they did
rumor
that, and they
stages.
also did like I've streamed this, and when I'm done, I can select like I as I'm like in your streaming setup, you say like categorize this as a podcast. Then when I'm
Correct.
done, that it would give it an option for people to watch it, but also it could show up in podcasts with just the audio from it. You know how awesome that would be? So I wouldn't have to like strip out audio. Can you imagine, like, I come on and it's like, you know what, once a week I'm gonna sit down for like 20 minutes to a half an hour. It's just gonna be me, and I'm just gonna like talk through tech, like whatever, through the week. And then when I'm
Yeah.
done, people can like watch me. And some people do that are hard of hearing because they want to watch the subtitles or they read lips. Like there's a couple of people that have messaged
Sure.
me that I know that have hard of hearing, and they watch and they'll watch the
Accessibility.
playback because of the auto subtitling, and it does a reasonably good job. At least it doesn't think I'm speaking another language most of the time. That's kind of, but to have it where you could just have it like audio only would be sweet. I don't understand why they don't have that as it is. Like that you could that if you're on YouTube and you could just say like I want audio only. So like, for example, can you imagine you're riding in the car, right? You're not going to watch it, but you're just going to listen. Well, it's extra bandwidth to have it stream. So then you're going to go in and like toggle it to lower. But I'm assuming if you toggle it to lower video quality, I'm assuming that would affect the audio quality too. Like if you toggled that down to 360p, wouldn't that in turn also lower the audio?
Yeah, but let me tell you something. It's good to have audio because the impaired inability person that, you know, some people can't really read or something, so they're blind or something, so they can hear it.
So I would love to have like an audio only way of doing this, because it would make things so handy where you could just be like audio only, and then you could provide that to, or even if they did that, oh man, if they had that integrated and then they had it so you could like link that to like other services. Oh. Does Latrell realize that we can't hear him?
Oops,
Nope.
I forgot I muted.
That
it.
would be a nope. And I didn't have you muted, so
Yeah, I muted my Yeti. I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I muted that
Yeti.
like 2 days ago.
But yeah, that would be so awesome if you could just be like, I'm just gonna have a podcast. I'm gonna have a regular channel, and when I'm done, it can be available as a podcast through YouTube, and then with I know with like YouTube Prime, you have the downloads. Oh, that would be even sicker. I could just go to my own thing and then just hit like download just the audio only. And I mean, I can do that with this too. Like I can have this
YouTube
saved
Premium.
as because it's recording it right now. So when I'm done,
Right.
Oh yeah, recording on
I
Melon.
can
Yeah.
grab just the
If you
audio
could put
tracks.
it-
But
If you could put on a service like Spotify easily, that would have been nice. Because I know like you'll probably have to download your live stream, put it in a video editor, or go to some website like like one of YouTube to MP3 converters, and then upload that track to Spotify or whatever.
I mean, with Melon, when I'm done, I can go into my settings area and select just like audio dot and do I can select .mov, .mp4 as video, or .mp3, or there's another audio wave, I think.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
So you can select
Maybe
just
wait.
the audio track from this, and I
Yeah.
can also
Is-
select just the video. Which, so like if I was like let's say it was like me live streaming with somebody else, and let's say I had an audio interface like the Rode that can record directly to it, and like I'm live streaming and Latrell's my guest and he has one, I could have like I could download just the video portion of it, and then have him send me his higher quality audio, and then use our separate audio to the video, and have higher if I wanted to. Although I
So,
would just download the whole
again-
video and then
That's
use
cool.
audio sync to do that, because it would be way easier. But you can grab just video, or just
So that's what you said. I'm doing it right now because I got the Rode. I'm recording. I'm separated, so I got 2 tracks.
so
Wow.
there is a way to,
Makes sense.
and that would be so handy if if Google integrates
Best
that.
money,
Man.
best money. Thanks to Uncle Sam when I was giving out those checks because of Rona and all that COVID.
Yeah.
So I took advantage and I bought something. Look, I've been using it left and
Yeah.
right, and everybody used it. Even the best of a week, TK Bay, Juan Bagnell is using it.
Yeah. Michael Fisher.
Oh yeah, I like his. He got his logo on top of it.
Yeah. Well, we know at least 2 people that have podcasts, that Sneed and Sam Ventimiglia, right? So
Oh, you know
they-
what podcast?
that would definitely
Um,
benefit them.
Easy. He just got a podcast. His second I saw his
Oh, did he?
second interview. His first guest was he just did it a couple of minutes ago.
Oh, the
GD
Tech-
was the
Tech
first
Preacher?
guest. Yeah, the Tech
Easy
Preacher
to-
podcast.
During this live stream?
Oh, I didn't know.
No, he did it. He got a new channel.
He has
I
a
was
separate
thinking-
podcast channel, the Tech Preacher podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's what it is.
Oh, you do?
So he,
That's cool.
who was his first guest?
Gigi.
Well, no, because he had
Oh,
one before
he-
that.
He has it as a
He was
feature
solo. He was
channel
solo.
under his channel.
Before that, he was solo, I think.
Oh,
Introduction.
Oh,
I
yeah,
see
that's
his-
right.
He had his channel, it looks like, for at least 6 years now. No. But I see, let me see. I looked. at
Gigi
the
was the
video.
first one because I was watching it before I started doing my podcast. I mean,
Okay.
whatever, my live stream.
Yeah, she was his first official guest. Yeah, that's right. He
Now-
went solo the first week.
Now, she's not on video, but yeah. Oh, wait, no. He's talking about his
She's on
daily
video.
driver. Never mind. Yeah,
What-
Gadget. And she's wearing her bumblebee glasses.
Correct.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the
Wow.
Tech Preacher podcast channel.
Cool. Check it out.
Yeah, it looked like he converted his maybe one of his old channels to a podcast
Yeah, he did.
I
channel.
was gonna say he must have, since it shows like 90 videos on there.
Yeah, everything else says streamed 4 years ago for
He
some
need-
headphones video.
He should just delete. He should private all
Yeah.
the old stuff so it doesn't affect his new stuff. Maybe.
Gotta
That or
convert-
unlist it. I would
Yeah,
unlist
like
it.
unlist it.
Maybe
you
it's like if somebody got in their playlist, they can still watch it.
Yeah. If you do that, do you lose the views for it? Because I know if you private it, I don't think you do. But if you unlist it, I think you do. I mean,
I
not that
don't
it
think
really
so, no.
matters so much. 'Cause
No,
you're
it
probably gonna get more views on the new stuff, anyways.
No, because I unlisted my videos before. You don't lose them.
Because like looking at his older stuff, it doesn't. It's not like
Wow.
it's got a ton of views on his older stuff, anyways. It's on there. Yeah, he
I
doesn't
I
really
don't
have
know.
any
You
that
you
have a
never
ton of
know
views.
though.
I mean,
That's
he has
why I
one
was-
that has like 21,000 views, but still, like, for the most part, like, I don't know. I would think for like if you're rebranding it as that, you would want just new stuff, but especially on the
Yeah.
main page.
I mean, he just started, so maybe he ain't get
Right.
to it
That's
yet.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought about doing a podcast channel, but
Yeah.
So did
The only
I.
reason,
Yep.
the only
it's
reason
probably
that
what my
this channel-
Behind the Minds channel that I have is going to be.
I love
I'm-
the name.
I know, Digital Slang has Slang Coin and Digital Slang channels. I think Slang
Wow.
Coin. Oh, actually, no. Slang Coin used to be his podcast channel,
Correct.
So
and they
I'm thinking-
transformed it into his, his mining and all that.
I'm thinking what I
So you know
might
what
do
happened with
is
Eric?
my Wednesday live stream that I do.
Yeah, that's permanent.
I'll do here as a permanent thing before Eric's stream, and then I will, depending on what's going on, Sunday or maybe Mondays after Lewis before T, in there, do like a short where it's like just me, like 20-30 minute, maybe
Hey, I
on
forgot.
my Behind the Minds channel and do it as like a podcast sort of thing, but like live. So I'm just gonna talk literally straight through that, and then when I'm done, I can
Michael.
upload it and be good. So
Yeah,
I
go
forgot.
ahead,
I'm
John.
running out of time. I gotta get somewhere before 10. So
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I forgot. I
All right,
completely
thanks,
forgot.
brother.
So I gotta rush over there real quick. All right.
yeah.
Thanks for having me on, though.
Of course.
No problem.
All right, man.
Yeah, let's
Michael,
go.
Peace.
make sure that when you do the podcast that nobody got that name, so you don't get like
Yeah.
a letter. Because my
Oh,
friend got a letter.
I already checked that all out before I
Okay,
named
cool.
my other channel. So
Yeah, that's good.
Because I love the name. The name is great.
because it's
I mean, I'm not
MPT
talking to
dash
you, but
Behind the Minds, and so it's
Yeah.
it's still sub branded as me, and I'm trying to decide what I want to do with it. Because I was talking to somebody about potentially having a channel where I talk about mental health, so it's not even tech related at all.
Mhm.
I like that.
and,
Actually.
I like that.
and necessarily, I might still have like tech creators on, but it would all be about like, okay, are there things that you've experienced with mental health? Have you experienced like loss? Have you like talk about things besides tech, getting to know them?
Yeah.
So it could be like getting to know them as like my interviews were, but also there are creators that are deep into like mental health. There's like I would love to have Emily D. Baker on because she does law stuff, but she's also like originally she started off doing tech stuff, but she's also she's like a huge proponent of like strong mental health stuff and like different things like with different like that and like even like when I've been
You're still
reading about
getting the
different
love.
when I've been
Checking on what I'm talking
reading
about.
about different
Yeah,
cases
I
lately
have certain feelings. I'll just keep to myself.
in the mental health stuff.
I did a mental health live stream. I don't know if you was there, Michael.
Yeah.
And I love that because that's good to bring different creators and talk about their struggle, not about the tech, their struggle of mental health being a creator because it's not easy. Trust me, I would love to be a guest on that. I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate of that. I always talk about that. He knows. I talked to Sharky behind the scene and always talking about mental health. If you don't have your mental health, you don't have your wealth. So that's how
one of the other aspects I was going to say though with it was I like talking about it, just like perception of like different things that are going on like in culture and different news stories and different court, but from the perspective of somebody like I'm not like a licensed doctor. I don't have like a PhD in psychology, but
Right.
like I do find human behavior and psychology fascinating. It was one of my main points of study.
Man, you talk about my language. That's what I studied.
And like language and all sorts of aspects. So I think it would be just something fun to talk about. But then again, I was also thinking like,
Sign me up. I love that
since
subject.
I already have my Behind the Minds channel, and I actually the videos that are on there right now are actually my creator interviews. I like remove the rest of the videos, and I only have the creator interview ones that are up there. That I would just continue with it as that, but called Behind the Minds, and creating another channel for the psychological thing that does not have necessarily like MPT in it and might not even have my full name in it, but is just a psychological discussion and is completely separate from that and new and starts out fresh and doesn't have to have necessarily any connection to tech. If tech creators want to be on there and talk about it, they can. They don't have to, and just reaches out into another space.
I like it, yeah.
It might even just be literally me sitting down, and the intro of it might literally just be almost like my diary of like, this is what's been going on with my mental health through the week. Let's talk it through. Do you have the same experience? Come join me and talk about it. Could be a little sad sounding at first, but like I feel like there's a lot of people that would approach it.
I'm gonna start important because Sharky could back me up. When I talk to him person to person on the phone, what I talk about, always talk about that subject. I don't know. I'm intrigued
Yeah.
how human behavior work. I'm always talking the power of persuasion and stuff like that. He knows. He might be
Yeah.
sick of it already, but I talked about that a
Yeah.
lot.
So
You know who else does it? Yeah, I think you already know, Luis. Michael, I know you're not in Clubhouse a lot, but wonderful. I think you know who she is. Wonderful. She's actually a documentary filmmaker and musician, but she has a YouTube channel. But she does it on Clubhouse. Ching Jewel. She does JUHL. She has a Monday morning anti-depression room on Clubhouse every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Sometimes she moves it to 10 or 11, but usually it's around 9. So, yeah, it you know, because I guess she's made it very she's transparent. She has some issues with it, and she has a lot of success. So, you know, it's not the two are totally separate and whatever. And there it is. So
I'm
it's really
passionate. I've
good.
been talking about it. Chucky knows
Yeah,
that. I talk too much about it. So
yeah.
well,
No, but
TM
you'd like it, Louise, because she doesn't just plug her. She doesn't spend the time talking about her document or anything. She talks about the issue. It kind of she try. I mean, sure, it can take some left turns like this is like we have here, and most things do. But she starts off focused about that issue, so it's good. You know.
I know Tech Love and Mama and I were talking about this, and that
Mm.
so she and I were talking about like mental health and like apps you use and technology you use to help with that. We were also talking about like apps that you use to help keep like your kids safe and to like monitor their activity and stuff.
Wow.
And so eventually the plan is once we figure it out and when she has the time to do it and all that. I know she got stuff going on and all that, and I've been not feeling good. Is that we were going to sit down and either, I don't know if we were going to do like, because technically with this I can invite a guest and record it and not have it be live and then upload it, that we would do that. And then I can edit stuff in and out, and then it's not necessarily, or that we'd do a live anyways, and that both of us would kind of talk about it together and talk about, because that's something that, but I just actually had an idea that would work great. I think that's what I'm going to do. I just sparked a little MBT behind the minds. Psychology of technology.
There you go.
Ooh,
I want to
like
do
that.
I want to do a series, and the initial video will be how psychology inspires our decisions as far as purchasing on the aspects of like sales people playing on emotion, and also how people get themselves into it, and just kind of a little discussion on that. And then like the next phase
Are you
would
sure
be
we're
like
not from the same mother?
how you can protect yourself from that, and then just like series like that, and then do
Yeah,
that
it's
to
the same thing
myself
that
a
I've
little
been
bit
talking
with
to
the,
Sharky. Honestly, Michael, I've been talking
Yeah.
about all that, and I've been talking about why fanboys, psychology, and all that. I've been talking about all that.
and
Man,
just kind of behind like the thoughts behind, and then even discussion on like why Apple makes decisions that they do, and how a lot of them are psychologically based, as
look,
far as like the colors that
I'm
they pick
ready.
for
I'm
products,
listening.
and um,
You got me
and
hyper.
how they see how they generalize the consumer, and people think that like they don't think about people as a whole, but they feel like they actually do more than other companies. So like
Also,
expounding on all that,
can-
how Samsung has changed their psychology, how they've like evolved, how Android has changed, and how companies
you know what I'm interested in, Michael?
and how
One more thing.
companies have actually been detrimental to their own advancement by criticizing other companies, and how that's actually affected the psychology and the way that people think about certain companies. So these are all like things that I've thought
Yeah,
about. That
I want to
literally I
have
have like
more.
20 videos that I could
No,
probably.
I got a
Yeah.
video. It's very important. Psychology of branding. I always talk that with Sharky. That's the one
Yeah.
that I talk about it all the time. I don't know why I don't do an extra channel. I love those stuff like that.
And then on the
Something.
emotional side, you have how Apple is huge into like, oh, the smartwatch saved this person's life or whatever, and like all the stories on there.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
got stories about that.
Right. Right.
I even, oh, I should do that. Oh my gosh. I should record a video. I should do a video, and it could be like a 5 or 6 minute video in length. But it's actually just two, like 2.5, 3 minute clips. And the first part of the video is shot one way, and then the second part of the video is the same
Oh, she
video,
said something. Take love your mama.
but the way that I speak in the background track is another way, and then have it as like a, okay, so this way of doing the video and talking about it, the only thing I changed is my tone of voice and the music in the background, and see how people are like see it. Because if you think about it, like, right, I could come on and talk about an Apple Watch, and I could be like all hyped and the heart rate monitoring, and I experienced this, and I've had health issues, and heart rate monitoring has helped me like have peace of mind. And then I could come on and be like, in kind of like a lower tone, and be like, smartwatch, Galaxy Watch, helps you have a peace of mind. It can save your life as it did mine. I thought I was dying, and all that. Like, literally the same words, but different tone. Because one approaches literally. Well, one is from the point of like what it can do, and like examples of it, and the other is the exact same thing, but it appeals to the emotional side of how you're saying it. It's literally the tone of voice. I know that voiceover people, like people that do voiceovers, talk about literally they use the same words and they read the same script, and all they do is change the tone in their voice to give different emotions. So people can use that for different scenarios.
Yeah, that's called
that would be such
emotion.
a fascinating thing. I would love to find somebody who does voiceovers to that definition and have them on and have them give an example, and literally I could probably have them just do my tagline and have them read that with different emotion and like show how that sparks. But these are all these ideas that I have up there that I just need to get out.
You know who's good? I think you know who could do it? The poet. I think he might do it. You ask him. You know who's good?
Who's the
boss, and who's got a good voice?
Oh, yeah, he's
Fisher.
Oh, Fisher.
Yeah.
He done voiceover work. Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
Michael, I think what Michael's referring to is like we were talking about this one day in Clubhouse. I don't know if you guys were there, but it's pattern interruption or pattern disruption, right?
Correct.
So because like in trading you have pattern recognition, but disruption is when. So even this afternoon that John Dunkerley was talking about, he makes like a change every 7 seconds or something like that. Because I know you'd be into this, Michael. You probably heard this. The average person's attention span is only 7 seconds or something like that. Like you only have 7 seconds to grab that person when you start your video or something. It's crazy, right? So that's a whole psychology unto itself. We could talk about all night. Yeah.
It's why when you do an intro to a video, if you have like intro text that comes in or like your name that comes in, a lot of times when people do that, they will make that it's like 2 3/8 of a second because and then they double it, so it ends up being but then with like the slight little adder, the extra that it adds to it, it actually more than doubles it, so it ends up being like 5.68 seconds or whatever. And then when you add the transition from the text to you first starting talking, if you were to time it all out, it's just under 7 seconds from when it comes into when you start talking.
Yeah.
There's actually a video I was watching on where they were talking about that. The other thing that's interesting with psychology, and I actually just did this to you without you even knowing it. Did you catch it?
No. You changed you moved your hand or something?
No.
Okay. Well.
It's the keyword that I came in with talking to you. I can get you to continue speaking by using positive connotation and like yes and agreement.
That's true.
I can get you mad and I can stop you potentially, or like if I really wanted to like halt you, I could come in and be like nope, and then like go into a thing, and like attorneys do this all the time.
Right.
But what I did was in the middle. I just came in and started talking about like so it's like an agreement, but I'm also like not entirely talking about what you are. and they
Right.
call that
Oh,
like a
okay.
pushover or like a slide off, I think is the term. So,
Yeah, segue.
but what's really
Yeah.
clever is people do
Yeah.
that
And-
is you can get somebody like that.
So in other words, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing because it's called the power of persuasion. I could get you to give me $20 less than 30 seconds. Ask Shark. I've been studying. I haven't caught him on purpose, and I'm like, Shark, look what I did. He'd be like, wow. So it's the
Right.
same thing. Wow, Michael. So me and you, we have a nice talk on that channel and a challenge. Who could get who?
There you
I've
go.
been studying that more than 5 years. That's what I've been doing.
But
Cool,
it's
man.
interesting.
I like what and Tech
So
Mama's
when-
had some great comments in the chat about Facebook group essentially and stuff. But just an intro, very interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, place to talk, good, bad, ugly, being content creator, how it affects your relationship with your friends. Yeah.
Okay, and also you could do psychology from different type of content creator. The solo, because I talked that in my channel, mental health. The boy and girlfriend, the marry, the family. You know, I did all that on my channel. I don't know. I'm an advocate of all that he's talking.
Yeah, if you're a solo creator, you benefit because you don't necessarily have the stresses of people around you, so you can just make content whenever you want. You know, deal with them.
Yeah.
If you're single, I should say. Now, the thing about if you're in a solo creator, and the aspect of like, you also don't have a team. Then you don't
That's
have other
what-
people's help. So if you really hate editing,
Trade-offs,
you still
yeah.
have to do it.
Yep.
But you could be a solo creator that has a team, as in it's just you on camera, but you have like an editor. You have somebody that does your thumbnails. You have somebody maybe that even records video. So if you're sitting here at like a desk in the middle of a room and you want different angles, they walk up to you, they walk around you. Like Linus has that. There are some other channels that have that I didn't even realize had that. I thought that they just had like multiple cameras set up and that they were just zooming in and out. But no, they actually have people that walk up, and it's
Yeah,
interesting
like
the
I'm
psychology
Gary
of...
Vee. You got people follow him. Like for example, oh, you know what? That's a good topic. Talk about how psychology and, like you said earlier, buying gear and having gas and all that. You know what I mean? You see what I did right there? You was talking and I cut you off and I went on a tangent and you let me because I root force myself. See, I know how you think. I've been studying this, Michael. See, I just proved my point. I just did it.
Right.
That's all I see. I got him to listen to me where I wanted him and got it in palm of my hand, and I interrupted him in a way that it wasn't rude, and I got my point across. You see
Right.
the power of persuasion. Trust me,
Palm
I've
of
been
your
studying
hand.
that.
So you did it in vain. Palm of your hand. There's a bunch of names.
There you go.
But you get my point. I
Good
mean, I
one.
was successful doing it. I just wanted to prove a point that I've been studying this for a while, and the only person that know
Right.
about it, Chucky, and now everybody in the interwebs. But I'm an advocate. I've been studying that, and the only reason that I find out, I was in let me say my story quick. I was in a room chatting on a special website, and they say, how can you pickpocket without pickpocketing with your hands, but with words? The power of
Right.
persuasion. And since that day, 5 years ago, I started studying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody else want to talk?
So, the interesting thing with all of this is, I have all these ideas, and I wish sometimes that I could just go right. I mean, I could. I'd be really exhausted, and it probably wouldn't turn out as good as I would hope. But like, now it just makes me want to, like, when we're done with this, just turn the camera on and then just start rambling on those topics and then chop each section apart and turn it into a video. But I know then that it just wouldn't be good because I wouldn't be as concentrated on it, and it would just be, and some of these things that I need to think more about and like figure out the focus points that I really want to. But it's interesting too because I posted a video on here about the update, how to update the Apple MagSafe battery pack.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because that video got up to like 700 views in like the first day or so.
Oh,
I
that's
posted
good.
the video on TikTok. It had 0 views. Like I posted at the same time until the next morning, and it still had 0 views. And then like noon, it still had like nothing. Couple hour, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I check it. It had surpassed my YouTube views, and like
What?
went from 0 to like 800 and some views in like 3 hours.
Oh wow,
But then it went up to like, I think it's at like 1,600 and something right now. But
nice.
now my YouTube video is at almost 2,000. So like, then the YouTube one took off. So I was like, what the heck? So like, but I think it's because, like 9 to
What was
5
that? Sorry,
Mac,
was it a
and there are a couple websites
Mac
that have
Day.
posted articles on it. So people are searching how to do it because they don't want to like, they
How
don't
to
want to
update the
misunderstand the
Yeah.
directions because the text is kind of not clear on.
Yeah. Was it a
Okay.
TikTok short? Or was it something else?
I did a TikTok one, and then I did a regular like
Oh,
2.5
long-form,
minute
okay.
video on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
let me tell you why. First, it was a hot topic, and you got something out of it. This is what I learned. Let me give you knowledge if you don't mind. You got a solution to the problem when it was hot. You struck with the iron was hot, so people was looking for that, and you evoke an emotion. That's why you got
Yeah.
2,000. So you gave the solution how to fix the problem. So there are people looking for it. It's fresh. You was one of the first persons to do that, and that's why you up to 2,000. You see, it's all about psychology.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is somebody actually gave me the idea for the video. Oh, it's almost at 1,900 views now on there. So it's got pretty
Wow.
good click-through rate.
Nice.
I mean,
Mhm.
people are watching half the video, but that's really all they need to watch. Because after that,
Right.
it's kind of an explanation of like, okay, why might you want to update? You know, so if they already know why, then they're just watching the
Right,
first part
right,
for. But what's funny is, for the longest time, my Apple ID no credit card video has always been the one at the top as far as like the number of views per day. I get like
Oh yeah, I remember.
about 1,200 views, like a month still on that thing, and this one is finally ahead of that. Like bumped it out of the
Wow.
top place for
Wow.
as far as in my Note 20. I mean, they have some other ones. It's funny because
But Michael, you get awesome views. It just put more videos out, and you'll surpass me.
Yeah.
so.
You know, for any-
It's funny. I gain subscribers, lose subscribers, gain subscribers, lose subscribers.
That's how it goes.
Right now on not on YouTube. Let me see if I can do it.
But
It's not letting me do it.
I don't know.
Oh, here we
For a
go.
while, I thought, I even thought like, I'm live streaming twice a week. That'll help, and it does. You get good watch time from it. I was getting better views on these than my videos. I was lucky if I was breaking like 50 views on a video, and my live streams were getting that, and then like replays would give me another 20 or so. But now YouTube doesn't really seem to care what you do. They just kind of
Yeah.
Right now, my strongest social media is Twitter, and it's at 1,167. Yeah, I keep growing like water. And when I do a Twitter Spaces, I gain like 20, 30 followers. They don't call subscribers. And I don't know why people gravitate towards me, because I guess I do. And even people DM me and say, I like the way you do it. You give a speaker a certain amount of time to talk, and then you let other people talk. And people keep
Yeah.
saying that to me, and people keep saying, you equal opportunity. You're just not like other people, 20 people talking at the same time, and we don't learn nothing. So
Right.
when I do the regular talk and chill, people like
That's what I
that a
try
lot.
to do with mine. That's what I do with mine too the other night, right? Is just give it, because like bring other people in, because some people will just hog it, and they don't mean to, but it's just,
Yeah.
that's what it
But
is, right?
I've been getting so much feedback. They love the format. I take my time. I try to enunciate. When I'm in there, I try to speak clearly, slow, and they be like, "Yo, you're doing a good job. I
Yeah.
like the way you do things. Why you don't have a podcast?" I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, like I know with myself, I have to make a conscious effort to speak slower. I know when I do my channel, I'm going to be the same way, because me, I like to just spit it out. Having been a journalist.
Wow.
But check this out. You know what your greatest asset is? Your mind. That's your greatest asset. I mean, you could do anything. I just love mental health. I don't know. That's a thing that outside of tech, there's three things. I don't know how to skate, but that's my most watched. Besides tech, that's my most watched thing to do for leisure time, and that's it. But for learning and recreational is skating. For learning, it's always been human behavior. 5 years ago, I bumped into that dude, and that's what I'm into.
Wow, that's crazy. Apparently, a teenager who was
52,000.
made $52 million on
52 million
on OnlyFans last year, doing like
Wow.
because there's OnlyFans section that's not.
I think it's a
adult.
boy.
Not porn.
It's
And what is he doing?
52 million.
No, what's he doing on it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think musician or something.
Oh, okay, but it's not porn. That's
No.
cool.
Well, no, as
That's
a
great.
teenager. Well, I mean, I guess technically you're 18 to 19. You're a teenager.
You would
You're
hope.
an
You
adult
would
and
hope
could
not.
be-
Yeah.
I mean, technically, but I know
Yeah.
OnlyFans was trying to get like tech stuff, and I don't want to say it, but P Hub was also had a tech section for a
yeah.
while,
Yeah.
and Linus did a joke where he made an OnlyFans and he got like 1 million followers on there or whatever in like a short. It's like
That's funny.
no, but I just saw. I'm like, I'm amazed though. Like Emily D. Baker, I just saw that her. She apparently started like a shorts channel, and it was funny. She called it Quick Bits, and I wanted to comment. I was like, I thought it was funny as an attorney that she didn't check and see, because literally that's what Linus Tech Tips. They have he has a section from Short Circuit that they call Quick Bits. So I wondered, I'm like, better hope he doesn't have I'm assuming she would have checked to see if there's a copyright on that. But
Oh yeah, Michael, she was doing a live stream today, and you know how much she had?
She had
17K. 17K.
it got up more than that. She had 22,000 people in there at one point. 1 out of every 10 of her viewers basically was in their live stream. That's insane. Like, she's got some of the highest viewership during live streams out of like, any channel out there.
Like it or not,
It's incredible.
that's a different story. But I'm learning how she do it. You got to learn from everybody. Like the person or don't like the person.
She should change the name to Clickbait. That's more like it, right?
Well, it's working for her, so I'm not going to go. I'm going to learn from her.
Good for her. That's all I'm going to say, Louis. Good for her.
I mean,
it is what it is.
If
You can learn from
you're
everybody.
interested in,
Sure.
if you're interested in like social drama, and you want to hear somebody that worked in law field and knows like the terminology and knows how it works, and like that has a good reputation on it, and that you can trust that they understand and you don't want to just like sit there and watch the case and like not really understand what's going on. It's brilliant. It's great. It's commentary. I mean, it's like
I've been following her on Roth. I understood it pretty much.
It's interesting to me, like I don't understand, like as a creator, if you had music playing in the background, right? You can get sued. But on the other hand, you can actually react to music and not have copyright issues. Like, for example, you could sit there and be like listening to this song for the first time, and then you play like 30 seconds and then you react. People do that all the time, and they don't get copyright because it's a reaction thing, so it's under the free use. Right. But if I had some other content going on and played like 30 seconds of a track in the background, I would get sued because I'm not reacting to. But then at the same time, you have people playing whole long video games.
Yeah.
Where they're literally just sitting there playing the game. They're not even necessarily even having to comment on the game or even say a word, and they can do that without being sued. And like literally, and I think it's because it's a performance thing.
Yes.
But it's still like I don't understand how you don't get a copyright for like. If you're reacting to it, I get it, but there are some channels where they're literally not saying anything. They're just playing through the game, and people watch to see them, and they don't really say much. And, I mean, most of the channels that do really well say stuff. But even then, like, I feel like that's kind of a, like, how is that any different than, like, if I'm talking about something and there's, It's just weird to me. I guess
There's a lot of loopholes and stuff. Yeah.
you're gonna have
I mean, as long
somebody
as
now
you're
that's
not-
gonna
as
start
long
a
as you're not
channel on
blending.
the beginning of their YouTube video. They're gonna be commenting about the track that's in the background, and they're gonna start talking
Right.
about tech, and then at the end of the video and then they'll wait about 30 seconds, and then they'll go back to commenting about the track, and then they'll talk about tech just as a loophole.
Yeah.
No. But seriously, I don't understand and how TikTok now. I know when they originally started because they were like 15 seconds, and then they did 30 seconds. How are they getting around the copyright laws of like the music stuff now that they have the longer like 3-minute and then like 10-minute long video stuff? How are they? Maybe they're not. Maybe
That's a good
for
question.
longer ones you can't do that anymore. But I've seen some long ones that still have music playing, so I wonder how they're.
Mhm.
Maybe they got a deal with the music industry.
They must. I mean,
Yeah.
but for every song, that's impossible. Because I know
Yeah,
some of these
well, they must-
production studios don't allow anybody the rights. Like some Sony studio stuff, literally movies are the only ones that have the right for some of these.
Yeah.
So how are these people performing some of these? Maybe.
Well, the one that went viral last summer or 2 summers ago, right? Remember the guy on the skateboard with a bottle of ocean spray to Fleetwood Mac's Dreams? How did he do that? Once ocean spray, obviously, but he had that on TikTok originally or whatever, right? Or as a long, so he
Because as
must,
far as
right?
I knew,
Is that
in order for
is that
me
fair
to,
use or? Yeah,
in order for me to,
I don't know.
and so as far as I knew when I was researching this, because I was curious, like, if I wanted to, like, sing karaoke to some songs, record it, and
Yeah,
post them, would I have to do? Like, what rights would I have to get? So I would.
well,
have
that could
to
be
get,
fair. That could be
so
fair use. Yeah,
It's not under fair use. I have to get.
but there's tons
I
of
have
those
to get-
videos on you. There's tons of those videos on YouTube. Even they just take a chance, is what you're saying.
Yeah, or they're not monetized, or they are, or they.
Oh, if you are
or
only
they-
if you're monetized.
or they do something just enough so that it's just off, so that the copyright doesn't.
Yeah.
Let me tell you one thing.
Well, what I was gonna say is, when I looked at it about the licensing, is there are services out there that are legitimate that like you can search the track you want, and then you select the licensing you want, and so you have to get a performance licensing, and then you have to
Correct.
get there's another licensing for recording and like
Yeah,
broadcasting
covering.
that or like
covering. Yeah.
So there's like two different licensings you have.
Wow.
So like for example, the one licensing would be like if I was performing it in public, I'd have to have that licensing. So you have to have that one, and then the other one is because you're recording it and like reproducing it that way. Even if I was playing all the instruments myself and all that, it's the same whether it's that or just playing the original song and singing over it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing, he does know how to sing. Trust me, Michael Pepper could sing.
Yeah, I think too. So.
I heard him, so that's why I'm
I
vouching
might
for
do.
him.
I think for me, I would do a separate channel like Sharky Sings or something with the guitar because it's like I don't want to confuse the algorithm before I get out of the gate. You know?
Anyways, I
can't-
just realized what time it is. And
yeah.
I'm still
I was
live.
gonna
I'm
say.
gonna say goodbye to everybody, the like 2 people that are watching, which is probably you guys. But you guys stick around for a minute. I want to talk to you guys in the background here. But
Okay, sure.
thanks everybody who came on by to this randomness of discussion. Again, mental psychology. Sometimes people's brains just need a minute to just talk about whatever, and I'm okay with that. I love it. It's how my brain works. You know, I didn't acknowledge that for the longest time. That's for another discussion to have some other time. New discoveries with how my brain works. Anyways, I will see you all in the next one. Thanks to anybody who's watching replay, and I'll see you all Wednesday most likely. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Peace out.